Welcome back to episode 6 of the .gg podcast with Kobe, Jeremy, and Patrick. I'm going to be so much more aware to not talk super fast knowing that we're live. But we've got so much to catch up on with all of the spoiler cards from PRB02 and OP13. So let's just hop right into it. Let me pull this up. News outline. Y'all ready to rumble?
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Sick. Okay, first up, we got Portgas.D.Ace. This is a yellow character. 5 cost, 7k power, no counter. On play, if you have a face-up life, play up to 1 2-cost Sabo, Portgas.D.Ace, or Monkey.D.Luffy from your trash or hand. This is wild, guys. What are your thoughts?
This is crazy. This is crazy.
I think it's a good card. I mean, like, we kind of always wanted more support for like all three brother types, right? Like, I think it's good because unless you're playing BY Ace, there's actually or like regular Sabo, it's kind of hard to slot in a big ace, like an adult ace, because sometimes it feels like you have to run the 4 babies and all these copies of ace, which can make your deck kind of like bloated. But this actually helps a lot because now when you run this, you're not just running this, you're also getting extra copies of all your babies. So it helps actually make your deck more consistent where you don't feel like you're losing as many deck slots to having an ace package in there. You know, towards the end, people weren't even running ace or baby ace in their BY decks, right? It was like just Sabo, just Luffy. So this is actually a good way to balance back the other way where it's like, oh, no, ace can be good if you have like a core like this. I love it.
Yeah, no, this is great for BY as well. I mean, people have been cooking with BY lists recently. Shout outs to all of those like fantastic chefs trying to make the deck work in this current miserable meta for BY. But actually BY can kind of hang a little bit with some of these meta decks in its current form. It's not great, but it can. And so with support like this, we could start to see BY come back. And the thing is, like, the ace package was always scary with BY. It was more that you had a lot of tech slots, you had a lot of things that you had to put into the deck to make it work way back in like 07 and 08. But now you've got no more Moria, so that's 4 spots open where this can just kind of slot right in. And then you can just switch back to the ace package. So what this means is you have less room for tech cards throughout the deck, but you've got this really consistent 3 brothers package, and ace is pretty scary, especially in this meta. Like, ace comes out really fast, it's swinging 7, it's a sticky body, it's hard to get rid of it because you have to swing 7 into it. And so like getting kind of this ace plus the rush ace package maybe back into BY could make it, I think, a strong contender in future metas.
Yeah.
It's a good call out.
Solid card.
Yeah, I'm so excited to just like cook with all the brothers now. Oh, this is a fun one. Monkey.D.Luffy. So this is a red-green leader. 4 life, 5k power. This is both Straw Hat and Supernova. So if you have 1 Dawn attached on opponent's attack, if your total active Dawn is 5 or less, you may rest any number of those Dawn. And for each Dawn rested this way, give this leader or up to one of your Straw Hat crew type characters plus 2k power for this battle. And this isn't once per turn.
Yeah, I mean, so this was when this came out, everyone was kind of going crazy, right? Like, this seems on paper to be exceedingly strong as like a defensive deck. I think my initial impressions of it are I still want to kind of see what support is going to come with it. The leader, this does seem like a strong leader ability, but it's just we've had so many cases where we get these 4 life leaders that come out that seem really, really strong. I'm thinking of like Koala, I'm thinking of Nami, and then it just turns out that they can't actually hang out with some of the stronger decks that are currently in the meta. And so I'm trying to envision this in our current meta and how having this leader ability would help against some of these really strong decks like UP Luffy, GP Luffy. And I'm still kind of having a hard time seeing that. And it's mainly because I just compare this to something like Bonney, where for Bonney you have a lot of cards that help you leave up a Dawn, but you just have to leave up 1 Dawn to stop 1 attack. And in this meta with a lot of big bodies, that feels pretty good to me. Like, if I can stop 1 attack per turn, that's almost enough to stabilize. So I'm not sure you need to be able to turn all of your Dawn into counter in this current meta where there's just these really big bodies swinging at you. So I think like this seems really, really strong, but I'm just really trying to contextualize it in terms of what we have so far in the meta.
Yeah, this leader is like so hard to envision, like how it operates, because the way I was all, like, I had to really think about what is this actually? Because one of the things I thought was interesting was like if you play against like a red deck like Zoro, one thing that you can feel is as the game goes on, as the Dawn count goes up, the amount they're swinging for just gets higher and higher. You can feel this, like, even if their hand size is like depleting, the pure Dawn count, you can feel the pressure of, because Dawn can be used so flexibly. I almost feel like this is actually doing that in the opposite direction, where your Dawn count as the game goes on becomes increasingly defensive too. So like there are some units that like red decks will present to you, like Kid Killer and stuff, right? Yeah. Where the whole idea is like, oh, but if I just swing into it, you have to give up like your whole hand to protect this Kid Killer. Yeah. But when you can just rest like 2 Dawn to stop the attack from clearing your like annoying bodies, I think that this will be one of those decks where like you play out annoying bodies in the early to mid game, and then as the game goes on, it gets harder and harder to clear those bodies. In this case, it won't work for Kid Killer because he's not a Straw Hat Crew, but I kind of feel like it's kind of like inverse Zoro, where it's like as the game goes on, the Dawn count just makes your board tankier and tankier, which is going to just like make this pressure of like, this board is really awkward to clear now. I don't know how good it is because there's no, like, I think the biggest detriment to that is it has to be Dawn by 1. Like, the leader itself has to be Dawn by 1. Yeah. Which does feel like a waste. Like, if it was just not Dawn by 1 and just rest the Dawn to do this, it would be a lot better. But that one stipulation actually makes it quite awkward without any ramping.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, and it's also hard to, like, it's really tricky to discuss these cards right now, too, because we're going to talk about the ban list later, but knowing that some, like, UP Luffy might get hit, then that really changes things. Because if I think about this against UP Luffy, I think UP Luffy is just going to dominate this in a similar fashion to the way it dominates something like Bonney, because it can just remove anybody using all of the great blue cards that it has. And then you're playing the same game Bonney as where you're trying to stick like Tashigis and things like that to keep your board safe. And so, but then post UP is a whole other world, and I could see this actually maybe being good in like a post UP post like purple Straw Hat Crew meta. So yeah, it's really tricky. Like you have to think about all of these cards in terms of like how they would do right now with what we have, and then how they might do in the future if we have a ban list and UP falls off. And I'll just add to that, if UP falls off, then you have to think, how does this do against Green Zoro? So, because Green Zoro will definitely become potentially the strongest deck in the format, barring somebody cooking up something. So how would this fare against a 5-life Green Zoro leader that's kind of swinging huge at your board every turn, and then getting to swing for free at your leader?
Yeah.
It is interesting that this has Supernova typing, but only protects Straw Hat characters.
Sad. Yeah, it feels like they maybe worried it was going to be too good if they made it so it didn't cost 1 Dawn, and they made it not just Straw Hats, like Straw Hats and Supernovas. So, oof.
Yeah. Well, if he did protect Supernova type characters, you can just drop 8-cost Kid and like.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. That's why. But that's why I think like we have to see what support will come with it. Like there will very likely be some Straw Hat support, and so we could actually see support that's like in a similar vein to Kid, where the game plan does become like protect this really, really strong Straw Hat body that's kind of like an engine for the deck, like a new kind of like Sanji Pudding-esque mid-game engine that you have to protect. Or so, like I could see something like that coming with this leader, and then that would really help you shape the deck kind of around the leader effect in an interesting way.
Yeah. I did like the point brought up earlier where, you know, when you have leaders like UP Luffy, it's almost so obvious the amount of consistent value it generates. But when you have leaders like this one or the Koala or the Nami, it's like the potential seems very high, but the actual execution of that can be dubious sometimes, and maybe it just needs someone to cook the right deck to do that. But even when Zoro was revealed, it's like it wasn't obvious that everyone's like, oh, this is going to be like a killer deck, but just afterwards you see it come out.
Yeah, and I think too, like I mean, I've been saying for a long time that I just think 4-life leaders are too weak right now in general. Like being 4-life is too much of a liability, and now we see with the new leaders that we're going to talk about, it seems like Bandai's realized this and is starting to make more kind of like 5-life dual-colored leaders, or making the effects so strong to justify the loss of cards. And so I do think this leader might fall into that kind of other category of the koalas, where it's like, just being a 4-life leader is too much of a weakness. Losing that card is too much of a weakness. And like the dual color leaders we've seen do well are leaders like BY, where it's like he can just live forever. It doesn't really matter. Like he doesn't play a life game. Or something like these purple leaders where you have Gum Giant, which again just functions as having another life because you get to just block and attack for free essentially without losing cards. So Giant kind of helps you maintain your hand size. So it doesn't matter that you're a 4-life leader when you can use it. And so we don't really have that for other colors though. And I think that's kind of potentially why we're seeing some of these dual color leaders fall off. And now we're seeing with this next generation of leaders, it seems like Bandai is addressing that in kind of interesting ways.
Yeah. This also takes a step in a different direction where I feel like Green's color identity was access to more Dawn, but like basically each turn you get more access to more Dawn. Like Green, Purple, Luffy, you get access to more Dawn per turn. Red, Green, Smoker, also really well designed. You get access to more Dawn per turn, right?
Yeah.
Those are the green archetypes you actually see doing well, where it's like you just get more Dawn per turn.
Yeah.
But this is actually going the opposite direction, where it's like you actually have to now spend Dawn. It doesn't feel like you're actually like speeding up. You're not cheating out kind of like additional things per turn to do. Mm-hmm. So without ramp or anything, it kind of feels like this is gonna be like, I really wish they didn't add the Dawn by one thing, because that makes this significantly harder to play. But
yeah, for sure. But and I mean, it does mean that you may have to run cards that attach a Dawn to your leader. Like,
yeah.
Again, that's where like we could see like some Straw Hat support. I mean, there already is the nominee.
They have to do like it had to be like something like a stage that at that point it's so stupid, but like a stage that attaches one Dawn every turn. It's like, okay, by that point you just like bake it into the leader. Like
yeah. But that's why I mean I think there could be like a really strong mid-game card that comes with this deck, where part of what that card does, let's say it's some like I'm just imagining a Sanji pudding for this deck, right? It's like a mid-range body. It comes down, right, and it gives your a Dawn to your leader. It does something else you want. It restands Dawn at the end of the turn, like something like that just kind of like activates the whole leader effect. And then once you get that down, now you're not paying this cost every turn.
Yeah.
Like I could see that really working. It's the same thing that's the same reason that GP works, right? It's like you've got this engine that just does everything you need. It's like, yeah, your leader effect costs you too much to use, but if you get this down, now it's fine. Now it's like great. And so something like that with this deck could really kind of help it, I think, in that mid game where right now that seems to be where it would be the weakest against some of these really strong decks.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so super excited to see more support come out. I mean, in general, OP13 looks really funny. Or like fun.
Okay, next up, Gum Gatling. This is a red event, 1 cost, Straw Hat Crew. On main, give up to 1 rested Dawn to one of your Monkey.D.Luffy, then give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2k power during this turn, with the trigger of up to one of your opponent's characters gets minus 2k power during this turn. So this is exactly what we talked about, where it's like something just gives rested Dawn to this leader.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and they released this around the same time as the leader. So this is kind of, now we're starting to see that, right? Like that's the kind of support that this deck needs. And so I think this is kind of exactly what you want to do with this deck. I just, like, this doesn't seem like a strong card right now.
Yeah.
But again, with the right support, it could be really strong. Like we don't know. Like giving something minus 2,000 power, like that means you can swing into things, but we're just like in our current meta, it doesn't feel like giving something minus 2,000 is really that impactful. Again, because people are playing just like such big bodies, there's so many defensive options. But again, like if we move to a different meta, this could be really good if there's a lot more like mid-range bodies swinging at each other, and this allows you to clear something and activates your leader ability. So we just have to see, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you spend the card on it, right? Like you lose the card to do this, but then I guess the argument is whatever Dawn you have restored at the end is free 2k counters in hand. Like every 1 Dawn you have at the end of your turn is a free 2k counter. So maybe this is a deck that doesn't mind having a low hand size because all your events, like you just spend your hand size and then you're like, well, I have all this Dawn now though.
Yeah.
To like be free counter.
That just doesn't seem good though. Like, again, like we're in such a card advantage meta. Like your card, like you really need cards in hand. And I get that, like part of that is to counter for things. But like going down a card just to kind of like give minus 2,000 and give a Dawn, like it just, it doesn't feel that great.
It feels like you would need like a Darashi for Straw Hats, which would be broken, but maybe that's the thing they're gonna release, like a 3 Dawn, search top 5 for 2 strats. It's like, no, but anyway, for all we know, that is actually what they're gonna do, something crazy like that. Yeah,
but again, I think if you had, now going back to it, if you did have a really strong engine that was kind of allowing you to win the game, then something like this could be strong, right? Where it just really depends on the support, I think.
Yeah. Still look cool. I still love seeing these older school like Luffy back in East Blue arts, because they definitely like, they didn't quite give East Blue like a lot of time, because when they did it with 03, they were like, no one likes East Blue, and it's like, or no one likes playing East Blue archetype in these leaders.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. They didn't give us E-Smooth typing though, so I mean like, there's no reason not to.
I agree. I love this art. For anyone like watching the anime, whenever they jump back like flashbacks to really old scenes, they like redraw it in the current style, which is cool, but I also just miss the charm of how it used to be drawn as well. Woop Slap, yo,
That's
my boy.
his name? I forgot that was his name. Woop Slap!
It's so good. Oh my gosh. So this is the mayor of Luffy's hometown, Windmill
Whoop
Village.
Slap.
Yeah.
It sounds like a rapper's front man.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was probably his childhood. Like, he probably has like a whole backstory to that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
MC Whoop Slap!
Now he's just big chillin' in the village. So as a red character, one cost 0 power, 1k counter. On play, give up to 2 rested Dawn to one of your Monkey.D.Luffy. That's leader or character.
Yeah. This is not good.
Okay, surely this must be bridging something together, because
Yeah.
we felt this way about Rayleigh, right? Like where it was like, what does Rayleigh leader even do? And then like it wasn't until we saw the whole like, there's gonna be something weird where like you spend most of your Dawn just doing a bunch of little things as Luffy, and then you end up swinging like for like 10k with your leader, and the remaining 5 Dawn is like up to just counter out. There's gonna be some like weird thing that happens. I don't know, but
Yeah. I think we have to. Yeah. We just have to see.
Yep.
This doesn't seem good to me though. On paper.
Would there have been any harm in making this a 2k counter?
they must have been worried it was gonna be too good. So this must weave into a combo. There must be a combo this is a part of. There is no way.
Yeah, no, I feel that way. Like, it feels kind of puzzling. It's like one cost 0 power and only 1k counter for this kind of ability. But yeah, we'll see, I guess. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe there'll be some cool way of like bouncing it back to hand or something like that. Then it might be good, right? If you can for 1 Dawn, give 2 rested Dawn, and then like put this back into hand, maybe like play it again, like something like that. That doesn't feel very Luffy. That feels more Law, but
Yeah.
that like something like that. Then I could see this card being good if there was a way to kind of not really neg from it by losing a card.
Or like things that will play 1 cost for free. Like we've seen that before with like Red Garp, the 3 cost 5k can play a 1 cost for free when attacking. We've seen things like the Dadan and Bandit Village effects that also play 1 cost for free. So
Yeah.
maybe they're gonna do this thing where like you have a bunch of cheat out 1 costs for free as well. So it's like where continuously you're just emptying your hand size, cheating out these bodies for free, and then you have all this Dawn left. Who knows? Like I said, we gotta see more support. But like I'm like cautiously excited because like I feel like Bandai's gotten a lot better with this. Where like with I think at least with like Rayleigh, there was like, oh, they were doing something really cool here. Like it feels like they've gotten better with designing this kind of self-enclosed archetype. So see how it goes. And Dadan searchable, if that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Anytime Dadan searchable.
Yeah. Whoop Slap, let's go.
Whoop Slap.
All right, Donquixote Doflamingo. This is a purple character, 5
Doflamingo.
cost, 6k power and 1k counter. So this is a blocker, and on play, if your leader is multicolored, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as rested.
This seems really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's another ramp option on 5 that's not, what's it called? That's not,
Kid.
no, what's the thing called again? When you...
God Thread.
God Thread, yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically an alternative to God Thread where instead of like clearing a body, you're developing a blocker and then ramping a Dawn. I'm not sure, like, I guess like also the Donquixote package is better now because like now you're playing that 8-drop. The 8-drop you can now also ramp after you play the 8-drop. So you can ramp twice on that turn, which is really good. So just making that package better. I'm not sure what other leaders that are not Donkey. I think actually it'll be better. It'll probably end up better for a non-Don Quixote leader. Like it'll probably end up being better for a leader that's not Sugar or Dofi, just by how generic this card is.
Yeah, I mean, I see people putting it in the new Roger, which we'll talk about, but
Yeah.
like it'll find a place in that deck for sure. I mean, there is a place for this. I mean, it'll probably be gone by the time it comes, but there's a place for this in UP Luffy as well.
Yep.
God Thread is a really good card because it removes something and it gives you that Dawn active. However, UP Luffy's problem right now is that it's hard to like both establish defense and ramp. That's what Thunder Bog was for. And this lets you do that while also being a 1k counter, which is really, really useful for decks like UP Luffy. So if UP Luffy stays around, we could actually see this sneak in. I mean, there's some combination of like 3-cost Dofi is being run right now with Zoro Juro ramp. And I would probably, like if I had this card, I would definitely be playing it, I think, in UP Luffy right now. I might have this take the place of those 3-cost Dofis. as just like another really strong kind of defensive ramp card, maybe at like a 2 or 3 of.
Yeah, but overall, yeah, good card. I mean, it's super generic, so that's going to be really good. Just may not be good for RP, Sugar, or Dofi.
Yeah.
Roronoa Zoro, green character. This is a 4-cost 4K power, supernova typing with Straw Hat Crew and 2K counter. So this one's a blocker, and on opponent's turn, if this character would be rested by opponent's effects, you may instead rest one of your other characters.
This is pretty neat.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty good. I mean, they just keep giving green like anti-KO, anti-rest effects because they're like, oh, you're the defensive color. You should actually be allowed to be defensive and not just like have your stuff get like rested or removed. Yeah, no, it's a 2K counter. It's super flexible. I love 2K counter blockers because like just like the Tony Chopper blocker that's also a 2K, just like the Sanji blocker that's also a 2K. Like anytime we see those like 2K counters that are also blockers, we just see those decks just get more flexible, like Buggy, for example. So I think that like, you know, this is an obvious sign of power creep. You have a 2K counter that's also a blocker, but the more we see this happen, the more we see decks become flexible, and that flexibility lets the deck go wide and just fill more slots with good cards and important cards rather than being like, I need blockers, but I also need 2K. So every time this happens, I'm always happy about it.
Yeah, it's like a natural progression to a card game. Like you see it, you'll have a natural progression of power creep, and that's kind of what we're seeing. And this is like, I think this is the good kind of power creep where you're having cards that do more of the utility kind of boring things that you just need to make a deck function. Yeah. Right, you need 2K, like that was just the way One Piece developed. It ended up in such a way that you need to run like 8 to 12 2Ks. You need to have a couple blockers and to deal with a variety of different threats that can come up, right? And so now we're starting to see this put together, which gives you space to run other cards in your engine. Yeah. And so I think it's just a sign of the card game maturing, that you're having kind of getting more bang for your buck with these slots, but then it opens up the deck more.
Yeah. And you won't randomly get sacked by Yamato because you don't have a blocker and or 2K, because you now have one in both.
Exactly.
You have both parts of it if you need.
Yeah, and actually really this is like a triple power creep because not only it's like a 2K blocker with an additional effect that it can't be rested. So this is like we're seeing almost like a 3-in-1 of what used to be kind of like spread out amongst like 3 different.
But you do have to rest something else, and I actually didn't think about it till now, but like it's a very interesting condition that's like harder to fulfill than you would think. Because you now have to leave one of your attackers standing. Yeah, which I love. I love conditional anything, and like this is so good. Like it's way better this way than if it was like you can just, you know, like you can negate a rest or something. It's also like this is way more interesting. It's also sick art. Like anytime that Zoro comes out, I'm like Zoro collectors. You're like your wallet again. But yeah, good card. Yeah, and great searchability. So no way this is not going to be like a play card. Yeah, solid. All right, Marco is a blue character. This is an SR. Nice. 4-cost, 6K power, no counter. Ooh, Land of Wano too, and former Whitebeard Pirates. This is super interesting. So this is just a blocker with on KO, draw 2 cards. Sick. Yeah, so I looked at this card and I'm like, okay, I think this is one of those cards which is gonna exist, and then it's gonna be so great for like Whitebeard and like, but then it ends up being used in like Nami, like blue Nami. Like it's gonna be one of those generic cards that ends up using in other blue decks, but not like tribal specific. Because like I think the only thing this helps is like there's like the 5-cost ace that can cheat out a 4-cost from the top of your deck. So if you play this high roll combo, you're drawing like 3 additional cards, right? Yeah. Like from playing it off the top, and then also from this getting KO'd eventually, then you'll draw 2. But honestly, it depends on how that new red-blue ace plays, because I kind of feel like this is not that great for red-blue Marco, unless you're playing that ace package that cheats up from the top of the deck. It kind of feels like a generic blue card that's going to end up being played in other blue decks, not actually like Whitebeard. But it depends on really what support they give red-blue ace, kind of like what that's going to shape up like, because, yeah, I mean, that leader looks kind of good. Yeah, I mean, this seems like it would be disgusting in that new ace, which I think we'll cover at ace, but keep this card in mind for that, because that just seems like a draw 3. Which just seems insane. But I bet you a Nami player is right now like, oh yeah, I'm running 4 of these. Oh yeah. Yeah, like, I mean this, yeah. Sorry to cut you off. Like when Namis were playing Margarets, where you just draw 1, like for an extra Dawn, play this and then you just draw 2, which is like a huge difference. Yeah, and you free block 5Ks, right? And you can even choose to block, counter, out, save this thing, so now they're forced to swing into it again potentially. Like, yeah. So it's kind of funny if it ends up being like a Nami card.
The Wano typing is super interesting.
Yeah, and like it's also worth noting that we are kind of moving out of this. Like it seems like Bandai wants to move away from this kind of removal-y meta, so this might just like stick as well, right? Like this would have to be bounced to hand or it'd have to be bot decked. And like we're just moving. It seems like we're moving away from those style of effects.
Yeah.
Right. And so the more we move away from being able to bot deck or just bounce this, the stronger and stronger a card like this becomes.
Yeah.
Very true. Boa Hancock. So this is a yellow character, 5 cost, 7k power, no counter. Ooh, it's got film typing.
Yeah.
On play, you may discard 1 card with a trigger from your hand. Your opponent's rested leader or character, other than Monkey.D.Luffy, cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn, and it's got a trigger with KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less.
My immediate thought was, I know the flavor of making it so it can't hit Luffy, but with the current meta and just the number of Luffy leaders, this means that this card is like can't affect half the leaders in the game, basically. like it's I love the flavor, but like it's also like from a card game design like balance perspective, I'm like, that's actually such a detriment now. There's so many things named Monkey.D.Luffy in the game. So
yeah. This seems one of the weaker cards that was in that set of reveals.
yeah.
You're basically like discarding a card to do something that green characters can kind of do for free, which is freeze stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to freeze a leader is quite strong, but I mean, I like it. I like the fact that like as you're a yellow character, it's like you have to pay a little bit more to do what green does naturally, which is good design wise. But I have a hard time envisioning discarding a card being a good thing. Like we're not in a meta where you can just throw away cards willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Like card advantage is becoming really, really important, and maintaining hand size is really, really important. So we'll have to see. I mean, maybe they have something in mind with this.
Yeah,
but right now,
I wasn't sure, and then I realized, oh, this is kind of good with the new Bonney, but like it's kind of weird to kind of print this first before that Bonney comes out. But I was like, oh, this is actually a good card for Bonney, like the new one, because of its stat line and stuff. Like purely because of its stat line, and the fact that it has a non-trivial effect, like the fact that like it can actually do something. Period.
Yeah.
On the turn it's played.
Yeah, and it has a good trigger. And I mean, again, we don't know what that Bonney is going to get support-wise, but if that Bonney does have a way to kind of like recur trigger cards or draw more trigger cards, or like that's what I think that's the direction that deck seems like it might go in, is the ability to get more trigger cards somehow or to do something with trigger cards special.
Yeah.
And so in that case, then this could actually be really, really good with that new Bonney.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, well, Boa collectors be happy because that art is fire.
It is fire. This could also like really shut down Zoro every other turn. So, yeah, stopping leader is pretty strong, but it might be just reactive, right? Charlotte Pudding, purple character, another SR. So this is 7 cost, 5k power with 1k counter. On play, you can don -2 if your leader has Big Mom Pirates typing and your opponent has 6 or more don cards on their field. Draw 2 cards. Then play up to 1 Big Mom Pirates type character with the power from 6 to 8k from your hand.
Yeah.
Do you want to take this one, Kobe?
Wow. I mean, like, I can't even keep a poker face while reading this. Like, this is absolutely nuts. Don -2 it's not even like that heavy of a cost by the time you get to 7 Don for a lot of these kind of leaders that are okay with hovering around there for a bit anyway. I love that it's actually like limited to Big Mom Parts because you could really abuse this. Just like you can easily just play out 8 cost kata, right? Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. And draw 2 cards. Oh my gosh! Like you were mentioning earlier, Patrick, how hand size is like everything, especially nowadays, right? You don't want to just like throw away 1 card for nothing. So being able to draw 2 for, I don't know, the way I see it, I know it says Don -2, but it's like you can counteract that and like.
Purple's whole thing is like Dawn. Like
yeah.
That's like. It's free. It's basically free. It's free.
It's not even. It's like sometimes it's ramping, right, with like certain leaders as well. But yeah, with like kata type leaders, when you have the 3 cost puddings, when you have the 5 cost sparrows, you're chilling. And when you can don -2 to then get that back active, that's actually beneficial to don minus in those cases too. So wild. So much potential with this card, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thought I had was like, I don't know how this works into. I know it's obviously like very good support for purple kata. Like this is amazing support for purple kata. You can play out that 8-drop kata early. Like there's so many cool things you can do with this. The extra draw is huge. The only thing I wasn't sure how this works for like yellow purple pudding.
Yeah.
Or if even that was a thought, because when I was like doing the math on it, like you can't. There's no point to ramp into this. You actually don't end up. What you get is the draw, if anything, when you play purple yellow pudding, because you could have cheated out or played out your kata on that turn by ramping anyway. That this is like almost doing the opposite, where you're setting back to draw.
Yeah.
And play it, and then going down in Dawn to like, oh, I accelerate too fast. I actually don't need all this Dawn. Let me go backwards and draw cards. So yeah, it didn't. I was like, it definitely feels like a really good purple kata support card. I just don't know if it's like if they're really still thinking about yellow purple pudding for the copers. No, sorry, I'm calling them copers for the blasses in the chat.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Thinking about this, I was also like, anytime cards like this come out, I always try to cope with Purple Black King, but it's locked.
Yeah. One thing that also, by the way, I always wanted to like, you get the body still. Like most effects like this are like sacrifice. No, you get to keep the 5k body, which can matter and like is really good.
Yeah. Every time Usopp's play out like a Rebecca with only 4k, like sure you have to put one more, but like that makes all the difference, especially in the late game.
Yeah.
5k body. Nice. Super searchable.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go. Jinbe. So this is the blue character, 4 cost, 5k power, and 1k counter, it looks like. On play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 7 Warlords of the Sea type card other than Jinbe. Add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. When attacking, put up to 1 character with the cost of 1 or less to the bottom of their owner's deck. This almost seems like a reprint of the banned version.
Yeah, I like this. This is cool. This is like what Jinbe maybe should have been, like a balanced version of the Jinbe, where as opposed to like getting you don't get that body down super early, which was the problem. It was like Jinbe was like the 4 cost Jinbe was playing out too many bodies too quickly in Blue Dofi, and I think that's why it got hit. But this kind of does the same thing, right? It doesn't play out the body, but it gets you a card, so it replaces itself. And it really it leans more into, I think, what Blue Dofi should be, which is this really strong mid-rangey deck that can just continuously generate cards and just keep going and going and going and going forever. And I think that's like a much more fun way for that deck to work than for it to just kind of like, when they would high roll and they'd play like Jinbe something, and then just kill you, like an aggro deck. So I love this. This may potentially make Blue Dofi viable in some metas again.
Yeah, no, because like the whole idea of being able to like search this much and then being able to like just keep your hand size very healthy as you're playing out the game is really good. The when attacking, being able to bot deck a 1 cost or less is kind of nice for like, getting rid of random searchers and stuff. Like, getting rid of like Lafitte's and stuff. Like, oh yeah, goodbye Lafitte, get bot deck or whatever. But I think one interesting thing here is like whether or not they're just gonna do this, or if they're also gonna give additional support, which is like, I think maybe it's an intentional downside of like the 7 Warlords typing, but there's very few high-end bombs in the 7 Warlords typing that are currently relevant. Like you have 9 cost Mihawk, which doesn't really hit anything important right now because it only hits 7, and the 7 line is like not that important. Yeah. You have 7 cost Dofi that bounces a 7 draw. So I feel like if they release this and then they give just like 1 higher end Warlord bomb, which we see people in playing Dofi replace with things like 10 cost Kaido and whatnot, that if they can just give like 1 7 Warlord bomb in blue, I think this and that become like instantly like it brings Dofi back, definitely.
Yeah, I think that might actually be too strong. Like I think this might even be enough, because right now Dofi's problem against UP-Luffy is that you basically, if you high roll as Dofi and you see all of your Weevils, you can actually win against UP-Luffy. It's like the thing is like you have to be able to like recycle your hand like 3 times. Basically, it's like you have to be able to like drop a board and like and then swing. They're gonna swing at your board. You drop your hand to clear it. Then you need to put it back again, and then they're gonna swing at your board. They're gonna clear it. Then you need to put it back. Like you need to be able to like keep up pressure from multiple waves. And I feel the same way with GP too. It's like there's like 3 waves of attacks you almost have to get through, and usually you only get 2. But I feel like this helps you find like Weevils. You can go like play this, grab Weevil, play Weevil, draw a card, play it, and you can just keep refilling your board and refilling your hand, and just keep the pressure up long enough to stop like a deck from like UP from stabilizing. And I think too, similarly, like Blue Dofi struggles into GP, but if they can maintain their board and they can keep maintaining their hand against GP, they can actually have a chance. So I think this is actually like a really good card for Blue Dofi in the current landscape of the decks that it's kind of struggling against.
I love the way you portrayed it. Like like 3 waves of bodies coming in. It sounds like Space Invaders or something, but it's like actually so true. When I play the game, it's like, okay, can I handle the next wave of characters coming out and then last until 6 dawn and then my 8 dawn turn and then my 10 dawn turn, you know? That's so funny. That's a cool way of thinking about it.
Yeah, and I mean, what's funny is like it's true against like when you're playing GP, it's like you need your Sanji puddings. But you need to see more than 2. You need like usually if you see like 3 or 4, now you're starting to like feel really good because you can keep replacing your hand, right? And you can keep defending your board when they swing those 9s at your board. And so this is like that same kind of idea where it's like you just keep building up this board, drawing more 2K so that when they swing into it, you can counter out and just keep up that pressure. So it's interesting. I mean, I think again, I don't know if this is relevant because of the ban list coming that might hit UP. But I still think it's a principle of like how Dofy plays. It's like Dofy is a deck that just keeps refilling the board. And I think it's really morphed into that over time. And we even saw that with the Jinbe ban as well, like this really mid-range removal style where you just keep refilling your board and removing things that they play. Yeah. And so I think this is just like really strong when you've got a deck that can play things like Red Rock and just like remove anything.
But I would also think like that's why I think like, you know, the fact that we have to play something like Red Rock is like almost like if they have just like a 6 or 7 cost or 5 cost like Warlord thing that they can play, it'd be really good to mix with it. Because like I think like the deck is also low on slots too, where I'm like, this has to replace something as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's also where, because you already have I think 2 replacing effects. Like you have Weevil that replaces itself. You have like the 4 cost Moria that replaces itself. So actually, don't remember what slots are left now in this deck to like swap this in. But like, I'm not sure if you play Sengoku. I don't think you would, because like you want Sengoku early sometimes for like the teach.
Yeah, I think so. Like, there's a few choices. I mean, you probably still want to keep your Gecko Morias to recycle cards like this. So you'd probably keep in your Geckos. I think you could cut a couple 2Ks, and that's only because you're going to have more searchability now. So you probably don't need to run quite as many because you're going to see so much more of your deck that you're going to see them anyways. And so there's potential for cutting something like that. I mean, I don't know about Jozu right now. I'd have to think about how good Jozu is, but you could cut, like there's a few things, like there's perfumes, there's Jozus. There's a few things that could trim depending on what you need for a given meta. But yeah, I'd have to, like those typically are the spots. You've got the 7 cost event, you've got like Raging Tiger, you've got a slot for Red Rock, you've got maybe perfume, you've got maybe a couple Jozus, and then the rest is like all engine, so yeah.
I know someone out there's gonna play this and roll over the things they need. It's like they're gonna sing Goku, but now they're like, no, I just bot decked all the Red Rocks I need for this matchup.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But you'll find them. I mean, this is insane. Like another top 5 search in Blue Dofy when you've already got Perona and you've got Sengoku and you can bounce them to your hand and replay them. Like.
Oh no, I mean, I think you're gonna roll over the.
But you can get back to it. Like,
like if you keep going through the bottom there.
Yeah. Like you search already so much as Blue Dofy that you get to the bottom of your stack. Like so, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I like it.
If you really want to have some fun, you play this in the nerfed Sokka leader, cost reduction, and then bottom deck when attacking.
Oof.
Yeah,
that's true.
Oof. Okay, looks like this one is just an Alt Art Rebecca. Another Alt Art Rebecca. Absolutely gorgeous one, though. Gold.
Yeah, I mean, like, I hate Rebecca, so I'm not happy about this. She's like my least favorite character. I hate her so much, but why does she keep getting
like as a character?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, why does she keep getting such cool cards?
But where does this rank on your Rebecca Alt Art tier list? Because I still feel like this is good, and all the SPs from PRB look amazing, but like my tier list was like, what was it? I think like I like the actual OG Alt Art from 05. I think is the coolest one. It's so like it looks like a painting, like a gorgeous. And then the SP, and then like I think and then probably this, and then the last is probably like the super rare like championship version where I'm like, that's like take it or leave it.
Yeah, no, I feel like the original Alt Art, like there was a string that was like when Bandai was just like they were cooking so hard, like because that Rebecca I loved that Rebecca. I loved the Lucci Alt Art from OP05. Like there was a set of Alt Arts that looked so good, and so I think like this is just why is this printed?
Yeah,
rank third. I don't need another
rank
Rebecca.
third on my Alt Arts for Rebecca.
Yeah. Give me like a Frankie or something.
Yeah, there's another one of those SPs that have the border is like super interesting. It looks like you've got the stitches from Leo, and there's some random swirlies. I'm not entirely sure where the rest of the vision is coming from, but it's something.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool idea, like that they're messing with the border and playing with it, like that. I like that. Like it's cool. It's cool that they're trying new things with the art design. I just can't get over my hatred.
One day. One day.
No, there's no way. I'll always.
No? Okay.
No, her arc is over. I don't think. Oh, okay. Well, who knows?
Yo, if you're watching One Piece, you never know.
Yeah, that's true. She might. Yeah. Anyway.
So.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. This is gorgeous. The way that they presented it, at least. I'm sure it doesn't look as interesting in person. It's kind of just like a cool manga panel, which will still look amazing, but.
And they're often super textured for these ones because like the texture is very obvious because the lines are all the dark spots are what it's textured. No, it's a sick alt art. Whether or not it's gonna be still playable, I mean anybody's guess. I mean some people were saying how like oh they banned this or like that means it's not getting banned because there's a alt art they printed and I was like PRB01 they printed a new alt art and then they banned it.
Mm-hmm.
So like not I will say it looks amazing no matter what. And if it ends up being banned and it's cheap to pick up, I will 100% pick one up for collection.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I like the more interesting thing about this is whether it is like whether this pertains to the ban list. I don't think this card's getting banned, so I think this will be playable. I think this is really nice to have. It'll allow all the Luffys to bling out their decks. But I mean, like, I'm looking at this image and I'm much more drawn to the right side because that is such a great I love Teach. Okay, so I hate Rebecca, but I love Teach. He's one of my favorites in One Piece, and so this is so Teach. I love like the the missing teeth, like the bloodied face. Like it's so good. Like this will be so great in my Teach deck, which is where it will go.
Max Rarity.
Yeah.
But yeah, Max Rarity your decks even more, guys. That's what PRB is for.
I mean, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, all the players who have their playset of manga teachers are going to be so happy. This is going to go so nice with your manga teach playset for you.
Is there a Lafitte alt art yet?
I don't think so.
I can't think of one.
Maybe it's in PRB. Maybe like that's when because I know. Well, did Full OLED get announced for alt art stage in PRB yet?
I'm not sure if I've seen that.
Okay, well, I guess we'll find out.
See,
I think they announced the card list, but probably not the alt art list. But I would assume if there's a Full OLED
that would be sick.
like alt art stage, then people are gonna go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a dream that I was playing Teach. It was just like that's it.
I dream of One Piece.
That's all it was.
No, there has to be more to it than that. What are you not telling us? What were you playing against?
I'm trying to. I think I was playing in an online tournament while I was in the subway.
Okay.
Oh.
That's what I remember, and I think I did well, but at the end everything glitched, so I couldn't actually see my final rankings, and then I didn't completely understand how to play Teach, but I just played like Augur, 7-cost Teach, Doc Hughes, and just rest.
You're just playing Lucci, but in
That's-
Teach.
I was playing
It sounds like you're playing Lucci, but in
Yeah,
Teach.
like it sounds like you're an expert. I mean, that's kind of what they do.
Except there's so many less combos. I don't know. Something about Teach is interesting, but it's also more basic. But I think it's more the thinking switches from using your toolbox to predicting every single card that you need. Right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's clear your dream was telling you like you're gonna switch from Lucci up to the subway. You're going somewhere towards Teach. There's gonna be some glitches along the way, but you'll get there. That's you're meant to be a Teach player. That's what your subconscious is telling you.
That's
It's like tarot cards, but it's a One Piece deck, and it's like, whoa, this will tell you your future.
Definitely won't be dropping money on this one though, unless it's super cheap. But I assume it's gonna be like too high.
I mean, after your dream, you might want to just save a little bit for one.
Ooh,
I don't know.
we see the next thing. We
Yes,
see the
this
thing
is
for
the one that
Maya.
Oh, she
I've
left.
been
Oh, no.
investing for.
Yeah, I believe you said you had a savings account that you would put aside for when this comes out to get it from Maya. So you have to now use it because it actually happened.
Yeah, so for I have been saving for the Sanji manga, so I will be buying this card. But Bandai in their they're just I love Bandai. Thank you, Bandai. They're gonna ban because they're gonna ban UP-Luffy, and this is gonna be like a cheap maybe $800 manga. If UP-Luffy was still meta, this would be like $1,500 or something stupid like that. But because I think UP-Luffy will be banned or will be dead by the time this comes out, I think actually this will be I will be able to afford this for my lovely wife who has every Sanji card.
Well,
What's your opinion though compared to the Zoro counterpart?
And it just as a manga?
Yeah, manga cards.
Well, I mean, I feel like this is just Bandai paying their dues. I don't know, I want to use like a curse word, but they really messed with poor Sanji by not giving him this manga alongside Zoro in the set that was Wings of the Captain that featured both of them, and then they just left out Sanji. I know a lot of like people were very upset about that on Japanese Twitter, especially, not just my wife. So I think this is just like bringing balance back to the Force. Like we're good now. Yeah. Like we're good, and this looks great. The panel choice is great. Like they've got all the like the classic Sanji scenes, and I'm not a big Zoro fan, so I think this is better than the Zoro, which we did pull the manga Zoro as well, the Japanese one, so I have that.
Yeah,
I look at it every day.
Yeah.
So I do have a reference.
Yeah, Sanji enjoyers unite. You have the manga now. Oh. Full card spoiler list. All right, I think all I have to say is thank you, Bandai, because like literally every card you want them to reprint, they're reprinting. There was so much doubt. Everyone was cautiously optimistic or cautiously pessimistic, but here it is. It's all there. Every card you wanted to get reprinted, including Laboon. People said no Laboon announced it. Laboon got shown later on after this announcement was made. Yeah, Laboon got announced. Literally anything you wanted reprinted is being reprinted.
Except Chopper.
Oh, except Chopper Locker. That's the only one. But I think there's a promo version.
Yeah, I think it's gonna come out somewhere.
I think it's coming out either in the demo deck or whatever, or like the three.
Yeah, I think that.
Or I think there's actually a promo version that they were thinking of releasing.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
Wild.
Yeah. This is. I mean, it's great news for the health of the game. Let's just hope that PRB is available for people to actually purchase.
Please, 2 waves
to get their hands on this card, because what we saw last time with PRB is that. It turns out the West likes PRB a lot more than the East. Yeah. And so I think Bandai was unprepared. So I really hope that they are able to adjust this time to the fact that like in Japan, like PRB was everywhere and it was cheap. Like nobody, like you could just get it all the time. Whereas like the mainline sets are very hard to get, or they're even restricted where you can only buy like 1 box at a store if you go. Whereas in the West, this like sold like hotcakes. Like we love our alt arts. We love our kind of also being able to build multiple decks. I think Western players like to have variety in decks. They like to have like 5 decks built. Whereas in Japan, people play like 1 deck, 1 color, 1 leader forever. Like they love it and they always play it like until the end of time. And so I think there's like that difference between the 2 regions made PRB 1 really hard to get. So I really hope they address it, because if this is plentiful enough that people can actually get these cards, this will be a huge just boon for the health of the game overall.
And so many people can get into the game, which I think is wonderful. And then people who are even chasing cards are just going to release more more of these singles in the market, which I think is amazing. Looking at what cards they chose, I feel like they definitely did think about the West a bit more, because some of these cards are like really hard to get into the West compared to like the East, where like it's not as much of a big deal. Where I feel like when I look at these cards, like I feel like they definitely thought about like what cards are too expensive in the West. So like. Oh, PRB02 is everything you want. And it's coming out October, like sometime in October. So like, it's not even that far away. Like we're waiting like 2-3 months, 3-4 months. Yeah, something like that. So don't hold off on buying stuff. Like you can wait. We can all wait.
Yeah, I mean, support for old leaders, cool alt arts, reprints. This is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
We love it.
Even in Nojiko, I was not expecting that, but I was happy to see it.
Yeah.
What was that from? That was the promo? The Nojiko?
No,
it's
the
OP13.
OP13. Yeah.
Really?
It was like
from, yeah.
Oh yeah,
when
that's so funny
came
that they threw that in there. That's
Right?
great. Yeah, but like I didn't even clock it.
Literally, they just like went to TCG players. They sorted by highest price to lowest, and then by each rarity. And we're like, yep, all that reprinted, all that reprint. That's all you have to do.
That's cool. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And yeah, more alt arts, which we talked about.
Yeah. What's notable here? Okay, so I love the Mary Joie, or Mary, like that alt art just for you,
gosh.
Kobe.
Yes.
I think that was literally just for you, so you can make your Celestial Dragon.
Literally, I've tried like Celestial Dragon deck with the Black Sokka, which is obviously not going to be that great. It's so fun with Kyros. It's not as viable with Lucci, but apparently people are talking about an Emu leader coming out. So
yeah, they haven't revealed it yet for OP13, right? They have. That's the last one to be revealed.
Yeah. So yeah, that one looks sick. What else are your favorites here? The Lucci one is just, it goes so hard. Oh my gosh, Finger Pistol.
Yeah, some of these we talked about, right? Like we talked about the Burgess last time, I think.
We did.
Some of these were released previously.
Yeah, I think the only one that we didn't talk about was the Zoro. There's like I think the 4-cost 6K Zoro from Dressrosa is it there?
Yeah.
I think there's a Croc there.
Yeah, and the Shanks. Yeah. We talked about the red Shanks, but not the green Shanks, which I'm sure Patrick still doesn't like because he looks like cool AF.
Yeah. No, not a fan, but you know.
Oh, and the Rosinante blocker. That was like, there's so many Rosinante fans who like just collect Rosinante cards and you just have another one now that you have to go find.
Yeah, for
sure. Great.
Yeah.
That one's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Rosinante is so popular, and that card especially is super good.
Yeah, even the existing alt arts for it, like the kind of promo versions of it, are already like so hard to get and like expensive because like there's barely any alt arts for that Rosinante.
Yeah. And that'll be a huge hit in Japan. Like they love Rosinante in Japan so much. Yeah. For good reason.
There you go.
And then those aren't the new PRB cards. Those are just alt arts of existing, like the Shiryu and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then even more. Yeah, those are the new cards. Yeah, new support cards. And then all the Dadan. All the Dadan.
Do you have some of these favorite?
No, but some of these I really like and some of these I really don't like, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the nature.
They also didn't show all of them because this is just showing all the ones they haven't revealed so far. But for me, it's probably the Buggy, which isn't shown here, but like with the nose.
Yeah,
so,
the Buggy's good.
So good.
The Buggy's really good.
Yo, this Kyros one is like so interesting. It just like sticks out for me. I don't know. Like silhouette as a statue.
Ghostly.
Yeah, is the Lim one there? I remember Maya and I were just staring at that for like 20 minutes.
Oh, this is a Lim one, right?
Yeah, we were trying to figure out what it was.
Oh, with the dice.
We haven't played the game, so we don't know the character, and we were just sitting there forever, like, what is this? And we were like going through every One Piece character, and then we never found it.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like Hanya Ball is like a sleeper one. It's like you look at them, it's like what's going on?
Yeah.
You and I can play through Odyssey as like a next stream. You just play through Odyssey.
True.
Probably
should. To get Odyssey, it didn't look that appealing for its time as well. I don't know. It
also came out around the same time as Yakuza Like a Dragon, which was another JRPG that came out at the right time. So I think it got kind of overshadowed by that too, because everyone was going crazy about Yakuza.
Yeah, that's fair. That's been really cool. Like, oh, look at that chopper one. Oh my gosh, that's actually gorgeous. The Foxy one with the nose.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, again, hopefully there's enough product that these are like a little bit more available than the PRB01 ones. But I mean, okay, so like there's kind of two sides to it. Like there's one side where you want this to be available so that everyone can get it and get their favorite Dons and things like that. But the flip side of it is that you get these when they're so rare, like they were in PRB1 and now also with EBO2, like the leaders, like they do become these kind of like really special cards for people as well. And so it's tricky. Like I don't know what ecosystem I prefer. I mean, I think I prefer the one where everyone gets what they want. But there is something to having these really like chasey, cool cards where you actually just don't see them very often. Like some of these gold Dons from PRB1, some of them I've never even seen in person. Like we've been like Maya and I've wanted to see a couple of them. We're like I've never even seen this because they're so rare. And so there is something cool about that. But I still lean on the side like it would be nice for people to get their sets of these and get the ones that they want and like get a set of 10 gold Don if that's what you're going for. So yeah, hopefully that's something that's possible.
Yeah, I think where my heart is like, I don't mind if these are hard to get, but as long as the rest of the base SRs are like available, it helps because as people are chasing these cards, they're also helping like fill the market with like people need singles for like for all the decks they want to try building, right?
That's true.
So like I don't mind actually if these hit rates are low.
Yeah.
As long as like the other cards, like all the Cavendishes and stuff are entering the. Like, I feel like they're being born. Like the Cavendishes are entering the world. Yeah. As long as that happens, I don't care how hard these are to get because I'm like, sometimes it should be difficult to get these, right?
Actually, I agree. Yeah, and that I actually love the PRB concept. I wish more I think that's actually something that Bandai is doing well.
Yeah.
I know like you get a lot of releases and people say it's hard on the wallet when you're getting all these extra sets, all of this stuff. But I love this idea of a set that just like pushes all these cards that are needed out into the ecosystem and then has some chase cards for collectors. And so I think if it's just slightly more available, if the price is just down like maybe let's say like 50% more available from last time, then I think that'll be that sweet spot where there's lots of collectible cards, but it's also in a range that people can actually afford to get them into buy boxes and things like that. Because I do love that idea of like, let's release a set that's just like, if you already have all these cards, you can chase after the alt art that you want.
Yeah.
And it doesn't like impact the meta in a big way or anything like that. It's really just like support. And then support for old leaders too, which I also love
Yep.
as well. Like, so it's really cool.
So definitely super excited for this. And like every year I'm looking forward to PRB. Just every year they give me the set that I'm like, oh yeah, it's Christmas time.
Yeah, it is fun to have that like yearly.
Yep.
Like this is a Christmassy kind of set. Like it's just like all fancy blingy stuff for existing players, as well as just a chance to like fill in gaps in your collection, which also feels great.
Yeah.
Right. Like I've been holding off on buying Cavendishes for like a year. So,
Yeah.
Like so when I finally get them,
Some people were like, razzing on me for like, oh no, like what do you mean like Brook? No, Brook's not getting reprinted. Neither is Sanji. I was like, okay,
Yes,
sure they're not. Sure they're not. You're right, they're not.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they should be like $100. It's like, no. Like, if they didn't reprint those 2 cards, it wouldn't have made any sense. Like, anyway, but
No, I agree. Yeah.
you can expect that like Bandai does care about making this game affordable, which is like good. Like,
Yeah, I mean $100 SRs, like that's just like
It's nuts.
it's nonsensical.
No.
So it's good to fix the ecosystem a little
Yeah.
bit. Healing, nature's healing, Bandai's
Yep.
healing, One Piece's healing.
Yep. I'm just happy I'll finally be able to play Secret Luffy decks now.
Oh yeah.
There's like so many of them look fun. It's like I just can't play it, I guess.
Makino.
Right, yeah. So we got some OP13 cards here. Makino, red character. 1 cost, 0 power, 2k counter. Love to see that. Activate main. You may rest this character. Give up to one of your Monkey.D.Luffy, that's character or leader, plus 2k power for this turn.
Okay, so like surely we have to see support. I mean,
Yeah.
like I think there's a common theme here that we're starting to see getting assembled, which is like for the new Luffy leader, they're making a bunch of Dadan searchable things.
Yeah.
For some reason, like it seems like it's actually hard to get your Dawn rested or to get your Dawn exhausted, so you can use rested Dawn effects. So it seems like they're giving you a bunch of ways to just spend singular Dawn really fluidly to like buff your leader for the turn. So I'm not sure like what else they're planning to do, but like yeah, it feels like they're just building towards this archetype of all these 1-drops that are non-searchable and potentially you can cheat them out with some other support card they're making, but we'll need to see more. But it's a 2k counter and it's a non-searchable, so we don't hate that, but it's definitely for new Luffy leader specifically and nothing else.
Yeah, and I think too we're starting to see like with rotations in mind, like these are kind of like replacements for cards that will rotate out in a sense. And I think that we're also seeing, I think Bandai do that a little bit, like fill in some of these cards that will disappear with kind of newer versions or updated versions that are kind of similar, but just different enough.
No, don't say that. I want Makino to stay in rotation. That
That's
card
true,
is
that's
like
true.
such a beautiful 2K. Like it's such an amazing
But this
design
kind of
2K.
suggests it won't, right? Don't you think? Like it seems weird to have 2 1-drop Machinos that do very similar things.
No, I think I would say this is like Luffy's because like it only buffs Luffy,
That's
right?
true.
Like
But, yeah.
I don't think it replaces the because like you can only buff Luffy named like cards. So like Zoro can't ever really use this unless they run a bunch of one.
But Zoro will be gone. That's what I mean.
Oh,
Like, so
yeah,
this,
that's right.
like this seems like we're preparing for a new age. The young generation have to come in and replace all the old. This is the.
Can't we just have like a whole format full of Makinos? Like,
I guess that's the unlimited format.
Yeah.
10 years from now, it'll just
Makino tribal.
You'll have just like a Makino
my full
deck.
Makino deck, only Makinos.
Yeah,
Oh.
like a custom Makino leader too.
Yeah.
Can't attack, you're just bartending.
Yeah.
Just serves milk. Dadan. What's this one do?
This one is a 1 cost 2k with 1k counter. If you have another character with the Mountain Bandits type, this character gains double attack. Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting is right. Have to see more.
This is like weirdly enough, like when the brief moment that Zoro is still playable, you can play this in Magura,
Yeah.
and you now have like a double attacker.
Yeah, but it's like I'll just counter. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah.
No, but then I'll Makino 3 times.
That's true. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Dump my whole hand. And
Yeah.
To give you 2 cards.
Just drop nothing but 1 drops. But yeah, it sounds like this is just more of that like interesting kind of support and like Mountain Bandit synergy.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because double attack has been around for a while, right? But it's like it's never been good. Like it's never. I feel like like especially now, it feels like every set double attack gets worse.
Except for Yuma. Except for 4-cost 6k Yuma is the only I think like slight like offset of that.
I guess, but like I still like even when I remember when I was playing against that 4/6 Ryuma as Blackbeard, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just take it and draw 2 cards. Like because we're living in a world where like the cards are worth more than the life to a lot of decks. So again, I feel like to me, this seems like a card with rotations in mind still. I don't know. We could like we're going to see changes, but I could see this like in a rotation format where things are very, very different. Maybe where we are in a world where double attack is good. I could see this working, but I feel like a lot of it decks, like as a GP Luffy player, I feel like you want to like spend a lot of resources to double attack me. I'm like, sure, like I'll just take that every day. I'll draw 2 more cards, find another Sanji pudding, and chill. So it's kind of interesting to see the place double attack is in, and that's like we have a double attack leader with Yamato, and even like she can't really like a lot of decks are like, yeah, okay, I'll take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one cost tribal. One cost tribal. We'll see where it goes.
Gum Elephant Gun. This is a green event, 2 cost, both Supernova and Straw Hat Crew. So on main, you can rest up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or lower characters. Then at the end of your turn, set up to 2 Dawn as active, and a trigger that rests up to one of your opponent's 5 cost or lower characters.
So like once again, more of those free cast events where technically the cost is free because you get the Dawn back in some other way at the end of the turn or like as rested attached. But it still feels like it's missing those support pieces to tell us like how it's gonna make up the card advantage difference for the kind of stuff. Obviously like decent card, but it's directly for the new Luffy. So we have to still see kind of like how do you make use of the fact that the character's rested? Like can Luffy swing really big into the board kind of like Zoro can? Like is that the thing that they're gonna eventually do where like that's what the support does? So this becomes like a very efficient clear now. So I'll have to see that.
Yeah, and it almost seems like I'm imagining this like let's say like just theoretically synergizing with that 1 cost event, the Gatling event that we saw, right? So it's like you play that for 1, you give something, you rest something, you give it minus 2,000, you like attach a Dawn, now you have 2 Dawn rested, but it's like you just neg 2 cards to do that. It doesn't feel in our current games like meta, like something that you would want to do. So yeah, we have to see still how this shapes up.
Yeah, we have to see like how that card advantage comes back, because even if you get the Dawn and you can get free Inquisition, free 2Ks, it's like it still feels like it just needs just a bit more.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Windmill Village. So this is a red stage, 1 cost. Activate main, you can rest this stage up to one of your characters with an original power of 2,000 or less gets plus 1k power during this turn.
Okay, I think this is doo-doo.
Yeah.
I think it's doo-doo unless like there's some weird Bailey synergy I'm not seeing here. I think it's doo-doo because like it's not searchable. So you have a stage that's not searchable. So even if it is good, you have to find it. So that's why I think I would like say this is, unless there's like more cards coming out, I would say this is not great because of that reason of like beyond, let's not even talk about if it's good or not.
Yeah.
Even if it was good, can you find it? Because like if you have a stage that's not searchable, it just becomes infinitely worse.
Yeah.
Just on its own. So that's where my point ends.
Yeah, no, 100%. As like stage has to be either like a core part of what you're doing, and then you have to be able to find it and use it, or otherwise it's just useless, right? You draw, like imagine drawing this, it's like, turn 6 or something. You know what I mean?
needed my Windmill Village
you
like
draw it and you're like, oh man, like what do I do? Like it's so
I needed my Windmill Village 3 turns.
Yeah. Cards like this, like 1 cost for 1k power every turn. So you need to see it early to actually generate value. If you see it late, it's essentially a brick, or like 1 cost for 1k power, like a regular Dawn card, except now you go down 1 in hand. Right?
And it's like original power 2,000 or less. Like
yeah.
Like so like this has to be like either this is just like a dumb card that it's just like bulk, or there's something in mind, like some combo here where it's like you have some weak character that has some condition. When it gets its power to this, then it does something cool. Like it needs to be a combo. Like this to me feels like a combo piece. Like you see the other things, and then it does something really, really impactful. But on its own, it's
and it's a brick, so you can't even like stages. Like it's a brick you can't get rid of. And red actually has a hard time getting rid of bricks. Although like red green leader does have access to the zero, like you can use it to 0 cost events, but like it's still really hard to get rid of these from your hand. So it just feels bad staring at it once you have more than 1 too.
Yeah, and with a leader like the Luffy that you can leave up Dawn, like you don't need the 0 cost event anymore at this point, right?
Exactly.
Like, so it's just it doesn't. Yeah. Weird.
Good call.
Pineapple Stone. Oh wait, is that what it's called? No.
I don't know if that'll be the final translation, but we'll see. So this is a blue event, former Whitebeard Pirates. Main, you may rest one of your Dawn cards, place up to one of your opponent's characters with power of 3k or less to the bottom of your deck. Nice. Or counter up to one of your leader gains 3k during this battle.
I think, okay, I'm saying this is a good card, not from it being good or amazing per se. I think it's good design. because I love what they've been doing with these counter events where it's like you can counter out, or if you need the flexibility, you can do this other thing. And in Marco, this is really good because now you can clear 5Ks for like 2 Dawn, the card, and then your leader ability for 1.
Yeah.
So I think it's like amazing flexibility for a leader that like, you know, maybe just needs more of that flexibility to be good.
Yeah.
So I think this is like design-wise, I love this card. Whether it's actually gonna be good and makes like the Whitebeard decks playable, like really depends. I really think it's really Marco focused. Marco / I guess now new Ace focused, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like what we were saying with the 2K blockers. Like we're seeing this is like the next generation here of One Piece, where you're getting these double effects. I think it's great. The downside of all of this is that I think it does actually make the game more complex. So I do think like One Piece is getting more and more complex in terms of the number of potential things you have to keep track of now. Because some of the like an opponent who has 3 cards in hand, like they can have a card like this that does 2 different things that you now have to account for. And so, or when you see this search, now you have to think, oh, they can do this and this. So I think the more we layer these multi effects, the complexity of the game vastly increases. But the payoff from that is we get more interesting deck building, more flex slots. But I think it is like I do think One Piece is getting more complex. And it's looking like with this next set of leaders, especially, we are going to be in a place where this game is going to start to get tricky for newer players to learn.
And you have to respect the 1 Dawn bluff a lot more often. Like sometimes I have 1 Dawn left because I just don't have a use for it. But like more and more often, you're just like you have to respect that 1 Dawn can be 3K counter. Just like
Yeah, these multi-option cards really complicate the game a lot more, right? Because like you said, when the opponent knows that I have it, this one card can do multiple things. So you can't just be like, oh, they have 1 card in hand that's like only a 2K counter, or that can only bottom deck a 3K.
Exactly. Like, and it's like say you have this, and then now you know they also have like a 2K that's also a blocker, and you're trying to like calculate things like, okay, what do I do this turn? Like I can rest a blocker, but like if I spend like it starts to get really, really hard to know what to do, and it rewards like really good people who are really good at the game, who know how to navigate those scenarios and who have practiced a lot. But for newer players, it's just like you're going to start to get this more of a gap that you have to like this gulf that you have to bridge, and it's the same thing with what you see in like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you have cards that have like sometimes 3 effects now in Yu-Gi-Oh. A lot of cards have multiple things that they can do, and so you have to keep in your mind all of these different effects for like 5 different cards, all with different time. Like it increases the complexity a lot. But you get like really you start to get like this real like skillful gameplay coming in. So
lots of skill expression, and also I do like that it does. It punishes your opponent more for going for things they shouldn't. Like for situations where like it just means that you have to win by a greater margin. Like cards like this will make it so that you actually now have to think more like, oh, like I have to, if I want to make my win rate assured for the next turn, I have to make sure that I'm planning for this and the next thing. Which I think does make it so that the winner is more clear over the course of more turns because of that. Because it slows, I wouldn't say slows down a bit, but it makes it so that you now have to account for more things to win the game. Not to the degree of Gum Gum Giant, where you're like, I have to plan to win over the course of the next 4 turns because of Giant. But like it's a step in the right direction for a lot of just flexibility. Anyway, I love this. I didn't know it was called Pineapple Stone, but I guess it's because of his hair. I didn't know that's the name of his move either. Like, unless it was like a joke translation or something.
I'm a bit dubious, but we'll see.
Yeah. Woop Slap. Like,
no, Woop Slap is definitely it.
Whoop
He's
Slap.
the OG.
Lord of the Coast.
Yeah, so this one's a vanilla 6 cost 8K. I love this art.
It is cool.
Maybe just like that Japanese style. But.
Yeah. Like it could be someone's tattoo on there. Like a tattoo.
Yeah, I think I saw like some sentiment on Twitter that this like is not lore accurate, unfortunately, because this can be KO'd by Divine Departure. So it should have been made a 6/9. I think that might be too strong, but I think for lore reasons, I forget who made that tweet, but I agree with that sentiment for sure.
That's wild.
There's a lot of like funny lore things, like you know, like the Shanks from East Blue that can pitch a card to go up by like 1 or 2K or something like that, and I was like, oh, does that mean like that's the strength of his arm? Yeah, right. Like that is
Shank's
one Shank's arm equates like 1,000 power.
Yeah, it's not too much about this card. It's a red vanilla. It does have the Neptunian type, which is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just need filler vanillas for limit player, you know?
Sealed card.
Oh yeah.
But for all we know, there's also imagine there's like a Shanks or like a baby Luffy that summons this. That would be hilarious. Like I would think that would be so funny if it's like.
That
would be
so
fun.
out of pocket.
Yeah.
There should be a Shanks card that like bounces this back to hand, but the Shanks also gets like nerfed.
Yeah.
But I don't think Shanks is even nerfed after losing it. Let's be honest.
No. Yeah. I want like a baby Luffy. You play this, and then your opponent gets that card.
Oh yeah.
Like they summon like that to the field, but the Luffy like gets stronger.
Like
over the
you
course
get a
of the
Shanks, they get a Lord of the Coast.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny. In Magic, there's a concept like the hunted. They're called hunted cards. When you play it, like you feel like a hunted like a hunted gargoyle. Your opponent gets like 2 knights that are equivalent size as your gargoyle, but separately. So it's like the 2 knights are hunting the gargoyle.
Right.
And it was really fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a future generation interaction.
Yeah.
Okay, now the really juicy stuff. So a new leader in OP13, Sabo, 5 life. We love 5 life leaders, 5k power. This is Dressrosa and Rev Army typing. That's a typo. If you have 4 or more life cards, give this leader -1k power. So this is kind of like the RB Kid start. And Dawn X1, if you control a character with the cost of 8 or more, your leader and all of your characters gains 1k power. And this is for both your turn and opponent's turn.
Yeah. Thank you, useless Captain Mid, for proving us that like I didn't like Reputable Kid, and then I realized, oh, it was a really important experiment design-wise, which is as long as you give this power reduction, you can give a leader like full effects and both colors and 5 life. Because that 1 extra life makes a huge difference. That card and that life is a huge difference that I much prefer doing something like this to balance the leader than making it 1 life less. Because I would like this almost feels like a leader that's built for like, oh, do you want to try mixing these 2 typings to create really strong synergies? And most of your advantage is just the color mixing and your typing. Because this leader has exactly that. It has 2 really strong colors. Maybe not necessarily like together because we haven't seen it proven yet, other than maybe like red black Kobe is really good. And then we also see just 2 really strong typings. Like Revel Army has a bunch of Revel Army typed stuff that says if your leader's Revel Army, that makes us really good. A bunch of Dressrosa cards that say like if your leader's Dressrosa. So like it almost feels like this is like a toolbox leader where it's like here, have 2 colors and 5 health. Go create some combos.
Yeah, 100%. And like I think this is starting to solve that problem that we were seeing with 4 life leaders, where if they basically had to have like a disgustingly good effect to be able to get by having that reduced life cost. It's just, it matters so much, that extra life. Like it's crazy how much it matters to have that extra card, but also that extra time as well. Because the nature of the game is just like you swing 5, you take, you swing 5, you take, you swing 5, you take, you swing 5, you take. And as a 4 life leader, all of a sudden now you're kind of like, I might die, right? From that natural kind of back and forth. Whereas as a 5 life leader, you're like, yeah, I'm chilling. I just drew a couple cards, like I've taken some life, now I can start to do my game. And so I think this is a way of mediating that. I really like it. I don't think this is going to be a good leader, but I like the idea of starting to like. I am curious if like Bandai play tested this like without the 1,000, and then realized it was too strong. Because to me, it actually doesn't. With the current support, it doesn't actually seem too strong. It's just the 5 life leader. Like I don't see like that effect of like if you control a character with a cost of 8 or more being so broken that you need like. I think this might actually be fine with just, you know, like as a 5 life leader, but I'm curious if they tested it and saw like, okay, it's a little too much. Let's just tune it down a bit. Because really this -1,000 is not impactful. Like it really isn't. You don't counter out of the early swings, and not putting pressure on your opponent is not a big deal. You often also have Dawn to spare to make this a 5 if you really want to swing 5. But like, in a lot of matchups, I don't even think that early swing matters. Like you're like half the time you're just giving your opponent a chance to see another card they need anyway. So this is so cool. I want to see more of this. I'm excited to see how this later plays because like my mind is like, oh, like Rayleighs and Dragons are just so much better now because like when you play it on 8, you're also getting this additional leader effect active. But we'll have to see if it gets any more support than this. But even if it's just a toolbox leader of like, here, have 2 great typings, 2 colors, go have fun. Great. I love it. Yeah, and don't just die before you get to play it, before you get to do anything.
You have to play the game. You have to play the game.
This can have a lot of aggressive mid game as well with all of the new Rev Army cards coming out that have like the +4 cost and they're all just like 4 or 5 cost. And if you have like that koala that keeps giving you the Dawn every turn, then you can get like easy vanilla stats on these mid-range bodies with extra effects, or even one more than the vanilla.
You can also I have my crew to hit the 8 easily, because you can search for I have my crew because you have like Straw Hat searching in red. So you can actually like, there's a way to miracle accelerate this potentially. Well, I didn't think about that until just now. You can like Nami search into I have my crew, and then you can like cheat out basically a lot of ways to hit that 8 cost really early, and just create a zoo board.
Yeah, you could easily do Straw Hat plus Rev Army package in this.
Because like the Nami replaces itself, and then the I have my crew replaces itself too. So you actually get to like cycle through a lot of the deck.
Yeah, there's definitely like potential here. I think like too, it'll be nice to see if UP is out of the meta. And I still think like GP might be too strong into something like this too, but we'd have to see. But like, I'm trying to just imagine these leaders like without the Luffys right now, like that are just so strong.
Hey,
and
this
then
is a 6K leader too.
And then they start to seem really good. Yeah, they start to seem really strong in that context. Like in the context of like a UP Luffy meta, I don't see this doing anything because it's too slow. But in the context of a meta where there's no more UP Luffy, I see this being potentially really, really, really good. So yeah, there's definitely potential there.
Let's see it. Cool. I love Sabo.
Next one here is Ace, red blue leader, 3 life, 6k power. So this is only Whitebeard pirates. On your opponent's attack, once per turn, you may discard 1 card from your hand, give up to one of your opponent's leader or character minus 2k power during this battle. And if you Dawn X1 once per turn, when you take damage or when your character with an original power of 6k or more is KO'd, draw a card.
I love this. This is great.
I love this.
Yeah.
Like, I think we've been waiting for red blue ace for so, like, I thought they were gonna do that with the starter deck.
Right.
Because we feel, this is the match made in heaven. I feel like red and blue ace was meant to happen so long ago, because like, I think we saw it when they released all the blue white pairs, like, but where's red blue ace? Like it'd be great to have red blue ace that can interact with both sides, like his old cards, like, you know, Flame Emperor and stuff, and all these cool red Whitebeard pirates and all these blue ones.
Yeah.
It's Ace's thing, and then they did it. They like, we knew that was coming eventually, but here it is, and like I don't know where to place this. It's a 6k leader, which is obviously great. It has all these really cool effects. Free 2k a turn, so you can pitch all the bricks in the world, like, well, once per turn, to become 2ks, which we already saw, like, you know, Seed play an RG Smoker with Baccarat. Now you get it on your leader just for free. And then also the secondary effect, which also seems to make up for the fact that you're a 3 health leader.
Yeah.
In such an interesting way. So I have no idea if this is going to be good. I'm going to play it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it won't matter.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, it doesn't seem the strongest to me, but again, in a Luffy-less meta, anything like this could be, again, really, really, really good. So we just have to see how things really start to shape up. I'm also trying to imagine this into like something like Zoro, how well this would do. I mean, Zoro swings at your board, so if you can get it like a big body, it might die, you draw a card, but then you're taking that life hit and you don't have something like Giant to hold on and to sustain cards in the same way. Because a lot of the reason that the current Luffy, UP Luffy works is because of Giant, right? Is because of these events, and is because of the fact that you can ramp early enough to get out the first big body. And so this doesn't really have any of that. So this is like a completely different take on this kind of like 3 life leader. So yeah, on paper, it doesn't seem that strong, but another important thing to remember is that we're gonna lose like the red half with rotations. And so there will be an opportunity for Bandai to kind of print a new set of red support cards
also,
in that archetype.
I would think that this actually can do okay into Zoro, because you can the minus power applies to the secondary, the next swing too.
During this battle.
Oh, only during the battle?
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Okay, but I guess you still have like things like Crossfire, right? It's kind of nice. You can keep it minus 4,000 for I think the whole turn.
Yeah.
So that'll help. But like if you run it.
But the problem is like you have to like see it. Like you like it just like it doesn't have like the same, like things don't fit together in the same way when I look at this leader that they do for UP. Yeah. Like UP has like the strength of UP is that UP has like 8 cards, 8 to 12 cards that do one of 3 things: either ramp you, defend you, or play a big body. And that's why the deck is so consistent. Whereas I see something like this, it becomes a real struggle when you've got to run, like, you've got to find a way to like win the game. So you need like some bombs, but you also need to find a way to survive and to get there, and you have to play all these events, and like, how do you make it consistent without Searcher? Like, you have to run Searchers now. Like, it feels like you have to combine a lot into a really small package. And so in my mind, I like just very early predictions, I think we might have to wait until a new cycle of red cards comes in. Interesting. Because we're going to lose like this leader's going to come out, and then we're going to lose half of its color. or half of its support, right?
Oh,
with
in
rotations.
April.
Yeah, so I think it might be like that next set of, because they're going to have to support,
No,
like,
but we'll have a whole
this.
format with this. 'Cause, like this comes out in November, right? So
Yeah.
we have like a full 5 months with it before the red side rotates out, right?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, it's not a long time.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know if like Bandai's printing this leader with that in mind, or with
Okay.
like, the future in mind of like, okay, we're going to actually re-release
Okay.
some of this red support. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the red cards are really good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, red Aces cards are really good. Are they really good in like this current
yeah,
meta?
yeah.
Like, there's a reason red Ace isn't good in this meta, and like, I don't know if like adding a bunch of blue fixes red Ace. Like with those cards.
All I know is I'm gonna Flame Emperor Kata either way. I'm playing Flame Emperor on that Kata.
I'm excited to see Flame Emperor.
I'm
back.
Flame Emperoring that Kata and then swinging for. How big is that then?
It gives you plus 3K,
9.
right? Yeah.
Flame Emperor then swinging for 9K.
9 double attack. Yeah.
At least I'm getting a giant out that turn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Such a good card. My God.
Anyway, yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes, but I'm just excited for the fun.
Yeah, this is a great design, great card, great effects. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And fun art too. I love the flame.
Yeah.
Fire.
All right, Jewelry Bonney. This is a 5 life
Bonney.
yellow leader, 5k power. So this has egghead typing on top of Bonney Pirates. On your turn, once per turn, when you play a character with a trigger, you may activate this effect. Give one of your leaders or characters 2 Rested Dawn.
Okay. I have thoughts about this. I used to play a lot of yellow when I was playing like mono yellow Big Mom, and it's one of my favorite leaders. And my favorite thing to do is just like yellow, honestly, is such a ridiculous deck if you just play on curve. If you just play a bunch of really good yellow bodies on curve, like we've seen sometimes Kata do that too, but with that 1 extra Dawn for the 7k swing, we've seen it like be pretty aggressive. It just doesn't have an easy time closing out the game. And early on, sometimes that extra Dawn you're assigning to leader is setting you kind of behind for other leaders that can do more things going second. But I feel like this is actually like an upgrade from that Kata, but a downgrade in its typing, because we haven't seen fully what Egghead can do yet. But like most obvious thing, if you're going first and you play Lilith on 3 and search for an Egghead type card, you're replacing the Lilith already, and then you're swinging 7k that turn. Next turn, you can play like any 5-drop thing. Like you can play the S-Snake, you can play Nami and clear the body they played on 4 and swing 7 again. You can basically just, like going first, you can just keep applying this pressure and swinging 7. Like you play 6-cost Robin that trashes the life, and then you swing 7.
Yeah.
There's just so much aggression from this leader that you don't expect. Like like if you don't think about what cards exist in yellow that can make use of this, like for example 4-drop Hawkins that trashes life on KO. Like you play that on 4 and swing 7.
That feels like that could be a song hook.
Yeah.
Like you do this and then you swing 7.
You swing
turn.
7 and you swing 7, and every turn you're just swinging 7. And if you're just able to curve out properly, like, and that's before talking about any Egghead typing bonuses there are. Like a lot of the Straw Hats from Egghead actually have really good triggers.
Yep.
And there's just a lot of really good cards, like synergy and whatnot. If you're running a deck with this many triggers, Darashi will hit too. Like you'll actually be able to like play it and whatnot. But I think if this sees more support, which it will in this set and in the dedicated Egghead yellow deck, I think this could be pretty good. And I think it's going to be one of those kind of like zoo aggression decks that like, I think it's going to be better than, what's it called? Than Yellow Kid. Like I think this is almost like, this will be a more aggressive, like, people were worried at first when Yellow Kid came out where it was going to be, it's going to be like really aggressive, but then no, it ended up being a defensive deck. I think this is like, this is the aggressive yellow play on curve deck that will just like make you feel like the old school Kata days where like, oh my god, I'm taking so much damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like, we'll have to see, especially what those SRs are in the new starter. I think like this really does need something, I think still, because like part of the problem with, like, it's good to be aggressive, but it's actually like, there's anti-synergy between swinging 7 and burning their life, because one of the strategies against yellow decks that burn you is you take as much life as you can so that it doesn't go to your trash.
Yeah.
And then you have a lot of cards in hand. And so it's like if Bonnie's swinging 7 and I know that she's going to play a bunch of cards that burn life, I'm taking all the 7s to get those cards before they get burned out. So there has to be something, I think, more here. Like, and hopefully that will come with the starter deck. I'm imagining like maybe like a really strong SR in that starter deck. And then like, like one of those like 2Ks or something that they only give you 2 of to make you buy 4. That does something really, really good. Like a few pieces in there. But I do like the idea of like this overwhelming, like if there's some like end game thing that comes down, then that overwhelming pressure, like you're saying, like you play Robin, you trash a life, you swing set, and then they're just like dead. right?
Yep. If you can just keep trashing life, because I thinking to myself, man, I just even off just the Lilith play, I'm just happy. I'm like, wow, the Lilith replaces itself and you swung 7. That's a really good Dawn 3.
Yeah.
Like that's like
that is
for all considered, that's like a really good Dawn 3.
Yeah. It just needs like, and it just needs that. What's interesting is it needs like an egghead finisher. It can't be yellow, otherwise Kata becomes too strong, right? So it needs some sort of egghead finishing card, because of course the problem that you have with burning life or destroying people's life is like, I'll just play a bunch of blockers. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, got to get through this. That's why like burn decks don't work that well right now. It's like, oh, I burned all your life. Well, I've got like 3 giants, so I don't actually need life.
One funny one that I didn't even realize it was a trigger on like Egghead Brook. Egghead Brook's trigger is if your opponent has 6 cards in hand, they trash 2. Oh. If they have 6 or more, they trash 2. And I was like,
wow.
Okay, I guess I'm running 4 of those in this deck, because like if you hit that trigger, you're like, do you have any cards in hand? 6? Okay, can you pitch 2?
Yeah.
6 or greater, pitch 2.
Well, that's weird is like, it's kind of interesting that they're like focusing on triggers with yellow, but like, I don't, like this leader doesn't have any synergy with triggers outside of like getting the effect. Yep. Like it doesn't like put triggers in life or like manipulate triggers or do like face up life triggers. So it's kind of weird. It's like, I can't tell if it's a serious deck or not. Like it almost feels a little bit like a Mimi, like throw all the triggers in kind of deck. And then just go big and like bam, 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 bam.
Exactly.
Right.
I think it's exactly that, because triggers are balanced by the fact that if a card has a trigger, the overall stat line of it tends to be worse.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, to counteract the fact that it has a trigger, we make the stat line worse. This almost makes up for that, because even though the stat line is worse, you're still getting to put out that pressure.
Yeah.
So like you play 4-cost 5k Sanji blocker on neutral, you hardcast it. You kind of feel like, I missed that 1k extra stat line. But you're like, oh, I swing 7. It makes it feel a little bit better. That's why I thought like that 5-7 Boa is kind of good too now. Because on 5-7, you drop this, you swing 7, and then you stop their leader from attacking into your Lilith that you also swung with.
Yeah.
Like that's if you like perfect curve. But like it's the idea that they're almost saying like, let's see, are the trigger cards actually that good? Like let's make this leader where you get rewarded for playing them already in your deck. Yeah. Because they almost balance triggers. I don't want to say too much because I think they balance it correctly. Yeah. But like they balance it like, oh, if it has a trigger, we have to make it weaker somehow.
Yeah.
But does this now counteract that weakness? And is that in itself a leader?
There's the new because there's the new starter deck. What was that card that gives banish in the starter deck? What's the
Izo?
Izo. Does that have a trigger?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't.
Yeah. So right now you're limited to just Onami. Like if you play Onami, you get a banish swing. But that's really strong.
Yes.
Like if you saw, like if you high roll someone and you see like a bunch of Onamis and you just go like Onami swing 7 banish, Onami swing 7 banish, it's like it starts to look real scary, real fast, and then you burn the other like 2 more life. Like that's you have no cards in hand anymore. Like you're dead. So
and you know it's kind of funny, and I like don't actually, but like you can play the new Momo, right? The new Rush Momo isn't leader locked, right? So you can actually like play this and like it won't trigger this effect. But if you play 1 cost 2k Usopp, you can attach 2 leader, like you can give your leader plus 2,000 and attach 2 Rested Dawn from the Usopp. Like because of this effect to your leader, swing 9 and then unattach it to swing 8 with Momo.
That's true.
And I'm like, it's so stupid, but like, why is that Momo like, it's supposed to be only used with Yamato, but I'm like, yeah, you could actually run Rush Momo in this.
What a combo.
You can run Rush Momo. But yeah, so I'll be cooking some playing on curve, mindless whack stick like Bonney, just like 5-7, 6-8, 7.
It does seem like this Bandai doesn't know what they want to do with yellow. Is how I feel. Like between like Yellow Kid and now yellow just feels kind of like the middle child color. Like it's just like nobody likes yellow right now, and like they haven't quite found a way. Like we're starting to see it. Like purple definitely shaped up its identity and it's become this really strong force. Green is getting this identity like of resting bodies and doing really cool things.
Yeah.
Black was had such a strong identity for so long.
And
now it's not. But it does feel like yellow has never quite seen its direction and found its place. And like, Enel was strong for a while, but then they banned Raigo, which was like it was clear that was like there was something clashing there with their design and what yellow could do. And so I don't like this doesn't seem like a step towards in the right direction. This seems like a replacement Kata for when Kata rotates out to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like for people who just want to like go Oonga Boonga triggers, which a lot of people do, and it's fun. Like so I get that. And it's a fun way to play your locals if you're just like I want to see if I high roll today, and it's great. But it does this doesn't feel like something new. This feels like retreading old ground, unless we see something really shocking and cool from the Egghead. Which please, Bandai, like Egghead's so cool. It's like future-y. It should have cool effects like Vegapunk did. So.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see some cool Egghead stuff. Yeah, I'm excited for this because I think it'll be. We have a friend like our friend Victor is like gonna love this because he's like he loves playing trigger decks. So it's like this is like his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. With each set, as like the card pool gets bigger and bigger, every time a leader comes out, it's just so exciting thing about the potential that you can cook with. But also like it also means you spend way more time cooking, and I'm losing so much time from my day playing around with all this stuff.
You said that like it's a bad thing.
That's a whole other conversation to unpack.
Next week, yeah.
We won't go there, but we will go to Gol D. Roger. Finally, the Pirate King joins the fray as a leader. So this is a 5-life leader with 7k power, which we have never seen yet. He has typing King of the Pirates. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And Roger Pirates. So if you have Dawn on your field, then give this leader one of the Dawn cards that would be added during your Dawn phase, which is super interesting. While you have 9 or fewer Dawn on your field, this leader has minus 2k power. There's different ways I think this has come up in translation as well, how people have interpreted it. But just to clarify, whenever you would be adding Dawn during your Dawn phase, that's what this is referring to give the leader one of the Dawn cards.
Yes.
So you still get the Dawn ramped, but you just have to assign it to leader right away.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and you basically have to wait until your 10 Dawn turn, the next turn after that, to actually do a full 10 Dawn play.
Yeah. Yeah. I think before we get into the leader, I think it's like just from a rules perspective, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Like I like the idea if he almost like breaks the rules because it's like Roger, like he's like got this own rule for him, but it's starting to get really confusing with all of these different phases. And I think like we almost need to kind of like maybe revisit the rules or have a way of really like delineating what all of these things are with like very clear terms for like when you ramp a Dawn during your Dawn phase, that's something different than like ramping a Dawn or gaining a Dawn, or it's like there's just a lot of different things you can do now in the game, and it's starting to get more and more confusing. And I think so. That's point one before we get into it. My second point is that I think we also now really need to adhere to the rules and make sure we're following our doing things properly, drawing at the right time, adding Dawn at the right time. Like I think we're starting to see with UP Luffy leaders like this, like you have to follow the rules. You have to like do your refresh phase. You have to draw. You have to add your Dawn. You almost have to declare like Dawn phase, attaching a Dawn. Like all of these things become really, really important as we're just starting to see these layers and layers of effects. Like I kind of want this game to move closer towards like doing like Magic, where you're kind of like declaring phases a little bit.
Oh, but like
doing things in the right time.
What I think what's really good is that I'm in the way that we're not Magic is in that during these phases there was no interrupts. Like in Magic, some people are like, I'm casting this as your main phase end step is like ending, so I can like, or like is there's an end step, then there's your end steps cleanup. It's like so that's where I'm glad that we're not there. We're like I'm hoping they do clarify this stuff, just like Magic has really clean rules, but I also like, well, thank God we don't have things that can interact and interject during those moments, because then it gets crazy complicated. Yeah,
and I think because we have such a simple, like the game is so simple in that sense, I think that it's good to start moving towards like just laying out all of these things really cleanly, especially for when people start like for new. I'm always thinking about like newer players when you start playing the game, because if you open up a starter deck, you pull out that rule sheet, like it's just there's so many things that are not on that rule sheet that have become like really crucial parts of the game. And so the more we clarify things, the better. So that was my initial thought when I read this, was I was like, there's a way of doing this effect in a way less confusing way. I get why they did it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. But the more we do that, the more we add just layers of complexity.
Well, like, have you seen like I remember like I don't remember when it was Batsu created this amazing post, like this hilarious, because he's like 0 days since Bandai's created a new phase within a phase. Because every time, like for us, we just have to learn it. For him, he's coding it. He's like, well, it turns out now there's another phase in between the attacking phase and blocking phase, and a new one. Like every time something new came out, he's like, it's time to like code another phase in between phases again.
And it's just confusing, because it's like he's a 5k leader with 7,000 power, but he always has a Dawn, so he's actually like swinging 6. It's just like it's great for like existing players, but it's a little bit confusing. Like I can see how you could get mixed up by it. At the same time, it is kind of cool because it's Roger. He breaks the game. You have to just follow his rules.
Just amazing art too. They just like, and that's just like the base art. Like And I think these will be face leaders. I think anniversary set is always face leaders. So like, ooh, face leader Roger. How like
that would be yeah.
Whoo.
I was gonna say surely it's the laughing face, but you never know.
Yeah, it has to be laughing face. That's like.
I mean, that's what people said about like NL's face or like Usopp's face, but we'll see.
No, this will be a laughing face. I'll stake money on it.
I was like, I would feel like it would
We'll
be
hold you to
that.
it.
Like, what are the options? It's either that or like the very gaunt face from like he's being executed, which I feel like isn't even canon anymore because he looks so different.
Yeah.
Compared to then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, no matter what, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, this leader, I mean, okay, there's so many intricate, like you said, for people who know this game, like there's so many intricate things about it. Like this, like I know a lot of people are like, you know, having played UP a bit and seeing like, oh, what's the most ideal way to hit 8 as soon as possible so you can get this going. This one Dawn being set aside means that actually like it's kind of interesting because if you go first, you can't speed up and hit 9 because you have to ramp twice, and by then it actually won't matter because you actually go too far.
Yeah.
If you're going second, ramping only gets you there like a half turn early. And the only card that I could find that actually like lets you cheat this out early was like It's to Die For, which actually does cheat you out a whole turn early, which I think is like an auto include 4 of in whatever deck gets played for this. Is like if your opponent plays a 6k, you immediately can hit like your 9 Dawn turn on 7 Dawn and just immediately become a 7k leader. Like I think It's to Die For is like such an important card for this.
Yeah.
Unless they create like a specific version for Roger, like which might be also what they do. But it's I don't know. It's gonna be fun cooking something for this.
It's interesting because like you said, like if you go first, it feels so bad. Like this deck going first feels terrible. And so in the current meta, and I think like what makes ramping good right now, at least in the case of decks like UP Luffy, is like you just get out the big body first. That's the main important thing. Is establishing that body first. The pressure that body generates is just so huge. And so by getting that out first, you set yourself up for the rest of the game. And that's the whole point of ramping. Now, Roger becomes big himself, which is kind of interesting at 10 Dawn. But I don't know if that matters in the context of like big bodies swinging a lot, or in the context of like you might just die to little bodies. What worries me greatly is that like there's going to be a lot of support for this. So this already seems kind of strong, even with the current cards that are released. If they give this like specific type support, this will be disgusting. Like if they find ways of like there's like lower bodies, like 1 cost or 2 costs that can come out that can support this leader in the way that he needs to get to 10. This just seems like too good, like way too good. So I'll be interested to see like how do you support this and keep it balanced? Because there's already a lot of good purple cards and red cards, but specifically purple cards that help you get to that late game phase.
There's still a lot of purple cards yet to be released for this deck. For this. Set too.
Yeah.
Because OP13 actually has a bunch of cards that they still haven't shown us yet. Like because we've been so focused on PRB, we've like OP13 doesn't have that much
there's still
revealed yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like it's gonna be crazy to see like what are they gonna give this? Because like on paper this already seems like, I mean it's a 5 leader that's 7k power. It's already gonna be crazy, and then the fact that there's already existing ways to kind of ramp up and get to this Dawn count early. Like one of the stupid ways is you can play Black Maria, activate the effect, swing 7 that turn, then go back down to go back down to your lower Dawn count, which is kind of funny. But you can just like cheat out 7k swings. I don't know, it's kind of stupid. But that and it's Die For. Yeah, I don't know. I just know it's gonna be fun.
If you get like a stage or one of those cards that like ramp every turn, right?
Yeah.
No, that would be crazy.
Right?
I almost feel like they'd have to make so much of this deck unsearchable to like balance it. Where it's like, okay, but like all these typings, Roger Pirates is like super niche.
Yeah. And then you just keep playing Bello Betty to like rush everyone down before they hit 10 tons.
Yeah. It's hard to like. I mean, it's so far away, but it just. I can't imagine this leader not being strong, just like from a design perspective, because it's the anniversary and this is like going to be, this is like such a huge leader to have revealed. So this leader has to be strong, but it also just feels like it could be too oppressive. And we're already seeing like how it feels against UP Luffy, like the oppression of that deck. I don't think the deck is unbalanced, but it's not always the most fun to play against because it's so oppressive. And this feels like it could also be like that, where if they are able to actually ramp, like if they aren't hindered by the leader ability. I think if all the support for this essentially kind of like makes this interesting mini game where you're trying to maybe like, defeat Roger early but it doesn't ramp him. I think if this deck is able to ramp in the way that, and just like go to 10 really fast, that just feels like not fun to me. It feels much more fun if it's all about like, if there's actual ways of interacting with the leader, to kill him before he gets too strong, or to put him so far behind in card advantage.
Yeah, because there's no drawback on the leader itself, right? Like the leader itself doesn't have the drawback. So like, I mean, if you just play this as like, if you play this today with no support, and if it was like half decent, then be like, oh, that might be a problem, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's bold. It's like a bold leader from Bandai. I like our balance directions now, and this kind of worries me a little bit. But it's still so far away, and I think they have learned a lot of lessons. And I do also, I know some people don't like this side, like we're making all leaders 6K, we're making all leaders 7K. I actually do like it. I think it makes the math of the game a lot more interesting, which makes the game more complex in a way that I like. I feel like that's just the thing that One Piece does differently from other card games, is you have to do Dawn math.
Yep.
And you have to get good at it. And if you're good at it, you get rewarded for taking the time to learn these systems, learn how to swing into different numbers, learn how to pressure. So I do kind of like having all these different numbers where you've got 5s and 6s and 7s, and like in our current meta, you're swinging so differently every game.
Yep.
You're really having to think about how you swing. So I don't mind that aspect of it. It's more that I just think like ramp becomes really unfun. And I don't like ramp actually at all.
Yeah,
It's like a design
I would agree.
thing. So it's like, if this deck ramps, I don't like it. If it can't really afford to ramp and it has to play like a different style of game, I really like it. So we'll just have to see it.
Yeah, I know. I agree, because like ramping feels very one-sided, where like there's nothing you can do to affect your opponent ramping. You're just like watching them do it and being like, oh no, now 9 mom.
Yeah. I think too, like as a flip side, like just imagine this deck in its current form, like it just gets slaughtered by something like GP. Like you're just dead because you're a 5,000 power leader with like not much that you can do because you're so slow. Like you're just gonna die like way before you ever get to 7. And even if you get to 7, you're gonna be like, your hand is empty and you just.
Oh, that's why you play It's to Die For.
Yes, and keep up to keep up.
To die.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like it's definitely interesting.
I'm just imagining like it being super meta, and Jeremy's like, you know what? I'm just gonna play Bonney, and I'm gonna burn all their life in swing set. That's the game plan.
Well, okay. So one of my ideas, hilarious. Okay, so we're talking about how to like accelerate faster. I was talking to Victor about this. I'm gonna play 20 ramp 1 triggers, and like It's to Die For, and then that way I will hit 9 fast because I'm a 5 health leader. And if you swing at me and you hit a ramp trigger, the game just got a whole lot harder.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, like RP Luffy, like people would talk about putting in ramp triggers. He only had 3 life. When you have 5 life, like the chances are crazy.
Yeah, like, so play 20 ramp triggers, and the 0 cost event is one of them.
Yeah.
So it fills a 2K slot. And like, okay, what's the chances of hitting a ramp trigger if you have 20 ramp triggers as a 5 health leader?
Yeah.
Like, it's gotta be at least like, if you mull intentionally for it, it must happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Yeah, for sure. At least once, probably in your first 2 lives. So. Yeah, but again, it's like that's a problem, I think. Like, this deck ramping seems like a problem to me. So yeah, it's interesting.
But that is how I will play. If I play this, I will put 20 ramp triggers in this deck, and then one of them is going to be It's to Die For, which I can play anyway, like hard cast. Someone plays a 6K body. Oh, guess who's the 7K leader right now?
Having this King of the Pirates as a typing is just purely for flex.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
So one day we're gonna Luffy leader with this typing, right? And that'll be
yeah.
One day.
Now you have 2 searchable cards.
It's sort of only.
Yeah.
What set is It's to Die For again?
That is set
7
8.
or 8.
Okay,
8.
so it's around for a while.
Yeah, so add up 1 Dadan card from your Dawn deck and set as active. Then if your opponent has a character with 6,000 power or more, you can add another Dawn active on top of that one.
Yeah, that does seem pretty crazy. Yeah.
Because even on 7 Dawn, then you can just hit your 9 Dawn count just immediately. And odds are someone will have played a 6K or greater body by then, unless you're Nami.
Yeah. That was super relevant when Dofi was like going ham, because on their 3 Dawn you could bring out a 6K body, and it's like RP Luffy's like, well, I'll just ramp 2, I guess.
Yep.
Ramp right now, and as active too. Someone did that to me in Sealed, like shout out to Shu, and just destroyed me. And I was like, I'm so cooked now. I'm just gonna lose. And then they played 9 Mom and the 9 Kaido on me, and I was like, well,
so hard to come back
guess
from
I'll
that.
die.
Yeah. Usually when you can play It's to Die For and like get that 2 active Dawn, you can still play like a Bond play and then ramp another Dawn, right? It's huge.
It's huge.
So that is Gol D, Roger, and that's the end of our list that we need to catch up on. We're just talking about ban list here. Restricted cards. You know what? Why don't we switch the scene?
Yeah, okay. People have been asking me, and probably you said like, what is your theory? Like, what do you think is gonna get hit? And I actually don't know. Like, I have some theories, but I don't feel like I have any good ones. I don't have I have theories. I don't have good ones as like what's gonna get hit, because I feel like everything that could get hit has an argument for why it's not the right way to balance the game. But I want to hear your thoughts on like kind of like what you think is like, what do you think is gonna like no wait, what do you think? I think it's two questions actually. What do you think should get hit, and what do you think Bandai realistically will actually hit? Because I think those are actually two different questions.
Yeah, well, I think they'll ban UP leader. I think that's like, so people are thinking like everyone knows UP is going to get hit. It's a problem. Like Japan is complaining about it as well. I think like it's definitely going to get hit. And so you've kind of got a couple ways of doing that, right? So you've got you ban Gum Giant, so you hit all the Luffys.
Yeah,
and
purple. the Sanjis and the Robins, all the randoms.
Like, anything with purple and it's just dead. You hit 9 Mom, which right now is like really uniquely benefiting UP, but also like does help purple Luffy as well. And I mean purple Kata, but like it's not like it's really but like
really
it's
not. It's really
purple
Kata doesn't. Purple Kata doesn't use it too much.
And they use the 10. They have the 10.
They have way better.
So it's really hitting like the purple Luffys, or you just ban UP. And if you do that, you're essentially saying that like GP is okay, and you're essentially saying that like purple Luffy as well, which I think purple Luffy's kind of balanced right now anyway. That you're saying that purple Luffy is also okay, and so I think there's 3 different avenues. GP is not doing quite as well in OP12. It has not a great matchup into Rayleigh, and Zoro can be really hard. So it's kind of already gate kept by 2 decks that will still be around. The problem is that like it does have a bad matchup into UP, and so like it would lose one of its bad matchups and might start to become too strong again if it doesn't have to play like Frankie, for example, like 3 or 4 of Frankie, or like some people are running like 3 Frankie, 3 Chopper, 6 slots dedicated just to one matchup. If it can take those out and play some of the other tech cards, which they already are doing, but then it might be too strong. So then you have an argument to hitting like Giant, because there's nothing else you can really hit in GP. Yeah. So it becomes this really tricky thing where, like, do you just hit UP and then like risk having GP stay around when as this deck that can potentially always be too strong, or do you hit something like Giant and just kind of like say we're going to start again essentially with purple, or we're gonna find a new? It's kind of like banning Ice Age and Moria, where it's like, okay, this card is too strong in this color. But I really, I don't know. I think like if you hit Giant, I think a lot of players will be upset because not only you're hitting UP, you're hitting GP. And you're hitting purple Luffy, and like a lot of people have put a lot of time into those decks. And I feel like Giant as a card, we've all hopefully kind of learned to play with it and around it. And they've printed support. I forget the name of the green card in OP12 that rests on the
Hodian and events. It's like the
I can't keep track of it.
I don't track about it.
But like we have ways of playing around Giant, and actually like I feel like after this meta, like I know how to play against Giant, and I know how to, like, I kind of like it's become a part of the game now. We've all adapted to it, and so if there's a few more ways to play around it, it's not too strong, and so it's this really weird situation that we're in. And it's like last time I felt like with the ban list, like Raigo caught a stray, and I could see like Bandai also like giving GP Luffy a stray as well, and just being like, get rid of these decks. Let's kind of start fresh. And then like, you're like, if Zoro's the best deck though, I don't know, like that's not also. I know everyone's looking forward to playing Zoro, but it's not that great of a deck. You don't want you don't want Zoro mirrors. You don't want a meta of Zoro mirrors. And you really don't want Zoro to be the best deck. Like it's swing board, swing face, rest stuff. It's not that interesting. It's fun, it's great, but like you don't want it to be the meta defining deck either. So you have to keep that in mind. And I don't think you want to hit anything in that deck yet. So tricky. It's a bit tricky.
Yeah, no, I agree, because that's what I was thinking when someone was asking me. The same thing, I was like, okay, those are the things. You can hit 9 Mom, you can hit Giant, you can hit the leader, but they all feel like there are things that you can't just do on its own. Like, they're not things you can do on its own. Like, hitting the leader on its own, actually, okay, I don't think it's the right move to hit the leader on its own, like just ban Blue Purple Luffy. But we've actually historically seen Bandai do that. Like, we've seen them say, like, Red Purple Law, too difficult to balance and think about. We're just going to ban entirely. Sakazuki, there are things we could tone it down, but no, we're just going to ban it completely, even though now most of its support cards are gone too, right? So it feels like one of those things where like they probably will end up hitting the leader, even though it's probably the thing that we don't want them to do, and there's probably more nuanced ways, but they're probably like, that's what, like, looking at the history, that is probably what they're going to do because it is the most singled out offender, and maybe GP does need to be toned back, but maybe they're willing to like wait and see what happens after a bit, because it feels kind of sad to hit Giant. Like, I don't like that, and I know a lot of people will be unhappy if Giant doesn't get banned. A lot of people hate Giant. Yeah. But I also think if you hit Giant now, it's kind of sad for people who are playing, like just getting used to GP Luffy, people who are playing the new Sanji leader. Yeah. Like, or the Robin leader, where it's like, well, it's not their fault. But we've also seen Bandai do that anyway, where it's like, oh, this card isn't the problem for you guys, but we're going to hit it anyway for like every other reason. So I don't know where they'll land. I genuinely have no idea. Looking at the history, I feel like they might just hit the leader, or they might just like. And if they hit Giant, if they do hit Giant, I feel like they hit 3 other things. I think if they do hit Giant, they'll hit a bunch of other things at once. Yeah. But I feel like if they're not planning to do that, they probably hit the leader on its own. Yeah,
I know, and it's hard because it's like you don't want. I mean, at least for me, like I don't want to see. I don't mind seeing UP gone. I think it does just seem too strong. But I don't think you want to see Purple Luffy gone, and I don't know if you want to see GP gone either. These are like really interesting decks.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And they're really good for the game to have these like intricate decks that do cool things in the game. So it would be sad. Like I would be quite sad to lose GP as a deck. But I also think like you might have to do that because I don't think like if you hit like you can hit. There's other things you can hit. Like so you can hit like Zoro Juro. That's a really, really strong card in GP. But like if you hit the deck's consistency, you kind of end up killing the deck anyway, and part of what that deck needs is its consistency. Or you're just going to make it about like high rolling seeing Sanji pudding. So it's like everything that you hit in GP hits its consistency. If you ban stage, if you ban like a searcher, if you ban anything like that, you lose the consistency. Now the deck just is more like, okay, well, do I see Sanji pudding more by luck?
Yeah.
And then I high roll.
I don't think the consistency. I love the consistency aspect of it. It's almost like it's like the power level that just tuned down by a little bit, and that's it. Because the consistency itself, I think, is like a really great part of it. Like I love decks that have that high skill expression, right?
Yeah, and like it might also like if UP's gone, that might free up some more decks that are good into GP to come in and gatekeep it up. Because GP does not have a good time in 12. It's like a good deck, but it's not like by no means is it like tier 0 like it was in EB. So I'm in favor of seeing UP go and kind of just like letting the chips fall and seeing what happens after that. I think that might be favorable. I don't know if that's what Bandai will do though. They tend to be pretty strong with their bans. Like they've never really like held back.
They always go further than you expect. Like when we thought they were just gonna hit some cards, they always hit like 3 or 4 things, or they'll hit like the whole leader. And it's like that's why I'm saying like I feel like in our minds that's like hitting the leader completely. But I'm like, oh, what if it's like what could be more than that? Yeah. Like hit the leader in these 4 things. It's like it'd be crazy.
Yeah, and I also like just as a final point, I really don't like this. Like we're getting a trend now, which I don't like, which is you get a deck that's really, really consistent, really, really high skill, and really, really strong, and then it gets banned, and that keeps cropping up over and over and over again. And it's a problem to me because I think like you don't like these are actually the most interesting decks. And in a lot of cases for competitive players, these are a lot of the most fun decks to play. These are also the decks that if you're someone who plays this game a lot, you can keep playing the deck and learning and learning and learning. And it does suck when that deck gets banned over and over again. Yeah. I don't know if there's necessarily a problem with these decks. Like Blue Dofi was, yes, too strong, but I'd rather see other decks become that complex and consistent than hitting that deck down. Yes, Lucci was too strong in its prime, but Lucci had so many cool lines and did so many good things and it really rewarded skilled play. It's gone. Sakazuki was like that. RP Law was like that. So we're starting to see like the decks that I think are the most interesting and kind of the most fun, and like pros really like these decks. They make really good competitive metas. We keep seeing those get hit down. Yeah. And I think that's a bit of a problem. Like I want to see like, and I think we're moving into a design space like that, where there's lots of leaders who are consistent and can do complex things. The problem again is that you start to make the game less friendly to newer players or to casual players, and so I feel like that's what we're seeing. This constant push and pull. It's like complex deck comes, that's like it gets hit, and then you kind of go back to like a more simplified meta, right? And then complex decks comes, and then it gets hit, and you go back. So I want to see everything.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes this stuff is happening because they're just not planning for, like, even though these are so great, I think sometimes they're not planning for certain interactions where they're like, oh, we weren't ready for this. Turns out we weren't actually ready for us to have this interaction yet, right? Which is kind of dumb because it's like, they knew 9mom and all these other things existed when they made UP Luffy. They surely must have known. I mean, it's the whole Cake Island Luffy that they're using for that, right? Yeah. But it does feel like, like they're just maybe they just want to tone it down until next year, because it does feel like with PRB, they are moving towards the direction of we want consistency, we want more powerful cards.
Yeah.
Like, I would totally see UP as one of those things that if they banned it, they would unban it later. Like, I would, like, if they were to do it, I would hope that they would see it as, like, I don't think UP is to the point of where Sakazuki or RP Law was, because I think those are actually, maybe I'm wrong, but I think if you gave the current cards we had, okay, if you didn't hit all the other black cards that are super OP in black, and you had all the current existing cards in the pool for RP, I think they would both be as strong as probably where UP is. Oh no, they'd be stronger than where UP is, I think, theoretically. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think like the problem with UP is not, it's like we haven't even seen it win that many tournaments. Right?
Yeah,
There's a lot of people who are saying like, oh, you shouldn't even ban it. No, you have to ban it because A, it warps the meta around it in a way that it gatekeeps a lot of decks, but B, it's not that fun to play against.
Yeah.
Like, and that's something you always have to think about with like, you want decks to actually be fun to play against. And sometimes it just feels so bad to play against that deck. They see everything and you literally do nothing to them. You don't hurt them. They counter out of everything. They see giants. It's not fun. And so I think that's part of why, that's part of the problem. But the flip side of it is it's really fun to pilot. Like, it's really, really fun. And it's really, really skillful. So skillful to survive, like, because the thing is, like, you face UP for one round, right? And then, like, you play your deck and you lose. But as playing UP in 4 different rounds against 4 different decks, where, like, you got a Bella Bed, you got, like, it's really fun. And so that's the problem. And that seems to always be the problem that we keep running into, is, like, you get these decks, they're so much fun to play. They're so skillful, but then they feel so bad to play against. And you want to mitigate that and find that nice line where like matchups where decks feel fun to play into. And I think the way you do that is with more tools, but then the game gets more complicated. So it's like this endless circle. Like, I loved playing Sakazuki into Kata, even though like it was so hard, right? And and it was so much fun. There was so much to learn, and like once you mastered that matchup, you're like, oh, this is so great, right? It felt good to play into it, and I also liked playing Kata into Sak. Like, you want that.
You want it back and forth. You want like the ability to like have counterplay and have like this engage. Like, 'cause I think it's like having a sense that you can do something about what they're doing is good. I think this like almost like I just can't seem to quite kill UP is the thing they kind of like want to play around, where it's like, which is why I think they might hit 9-Mom too. Because if you hit 9-Mom, I think it's a very, very tasteful hit to the deck. I think like if you were to take it on the kind of like deft touch method, then it would probably be 9-Mom they hit, and then maybe some other cards to just tone down the meta here and there. But we've always seen Bandai be more heavy-handed than that.
We have, and I think like I do think if you hit 9-Mom, the deck might die out, but it would also be interesting because it would like let in some other decks. Like I would like that. Like I would be in favor of doing something like hitting 9-Mom and then hitting Zoro Juro, actually, I think, to help hit GP. I would like to see how that looks, like just what that looks like, because that's a very like, you're just pushing down the power level. In both decks, what they do really well, which is like UP removing threats, and then GP is just like consistent, strong bodies. So you hit both, and then you kind of see, like, I would be in favor of that. I don't know if that is what they would do.
I don't want them to hit Giant, because part of me doesn't like Giant, but the reason I don't want them to is like we're just seeing Sanji start to get played in Japan, and starting to get like really good, and I'm like, oh, come on, give it like one set. Give it once, let it be its thing. And if you hit Giant, like, I don't even think you hit GP pretty hard, but I'm like, the decks that will die to GP aggression will still die to GP aggression. You're not actually making that any better for decks that are like, oh, I just died before I could do anything. Like, you're not actually making that much better. So that's, I'm like, I don't think Giant is even a good hit. Even if you did hit it, like, I don't know. But I know all the reasons and that you would, and I know why people want it to be, and I have the same sentiment, but then when I think about some other stuff, I'm like, maybe it's like, it just doesn't feel right to do it that way. I don't know.
No, I feel like, like Giant is, like I was saying, like it's just been here long enough that we've kind of, I think I've grown accustomed to it, and I kind of like, I don't mind it as much. I think I just want to see other decks and other colors have their own Giant. And their ways of addressing it and their ways of playing around it. Because I think it is interesting, like when it's balanced and played around appropriately, like when you're playing against green decks where you have to leave up like 3 extra Dawn because it might get rested, and like when it's in the right framework, it's very interesting, and I think it's a fun card. It helps you cycle, it increases consistency, and it's just something that purple needs to survive. So I feel like hitting Giant might be a step too far, but we'll see. That would be the easiest way to address the problem. At the same time as well.
You'd nuke so many things at once. It'd be it'd be kind of sad for some of the people who like want to play Sanji. Or assuming Maya wants to play Sanji in the next set.
Yeah, it'll be very sad for him.
But yeah, I guess we'll have to see. But like that announcement's gonna be in August. They didn't even say when in August.
Yeah.
We can only assume that it would come before our OP12 release, which is gonna be August 22nd.
Yes.
So it'd probably like bets would probably be that it comes the week before. Like we get the announcement a week before the new set, and then it'll probably go in effect like the day of the release.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the other piece that we didn't get to is just like what this means for people who are going to be playing it. Card Fest and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
for people who are playing regionals in
it could really suck. Yeah, because
in September 20th was it? September 20th.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same thing as last year. Where it's like you spend all summer practicing a deck for Nats and then it gets banned. So I don't know if Bandai's gonna do that again, but it's definitely something that sucks if they do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair. I really don't, because you spend all this time playing this format and then you just introduce this brand new change with this new format.
Oh no, but like Nats is gonna be played in OP12.
Is it?
Yeah. Nats is in September.
Yeah, but like if there's a ban list, it'll be OP12 with a ban list. So it'll be a brand new format.
Yeah, so no one will have been able to practice for. It'll be like a fresh meta.
Yeah, that's my point.
Oh, you don't like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because like you're if you're going to Nats, you're going to play at the highest level.
Yeah.
You've already qualified with regionals. You shouldn't have to like. It's a different skill set to play in a fresh new meta compared to playing in a meta that's already been developed. And so I don't think.
But developed in Japan.
Yes,
because we wouldn't have.
Yeah, but if I was going to Nats, I would be playing UP Luffy, right? And I've practiced UP Luffy. I've been practicing UP Luffy against 12. I know the matchup into Zoro. I'm ready to go. And then if they just ban UP Luffy, now what do? I have to learn like a whole new deck into a whole new meta that we're going to see. I think that's a different skill set. I think it's great to test that skill set. I just don't think it's fair to play. I think like players should be able to prep all summer and then know what they're going to play, like know what to expect going into 12 to get the best competitive games at Nats. Because I think Nats is about, for me, it's about seeing the best players playing at the highest level with the most practice that they need and that they deserve to get. And I think like forcing everyone to scramble, it's not fair. It's not like you're like people who don't have a job who can just practice all day are going to be way far ahead of players who actually like have a job and can't practice. Like I don't think it's equitable, and I really don't like it if they do it. So I think it would be nice if they ban after Nats. They didn't do that last year, right? But I think it's just something that I hope that they're thinking about, because for competitive integrity, I want to see players playing decks that they've practiced that are like at the highest level that they really know going into the meta.
Interesting. I think where I stand is like I'm on the actually opposite side of the spectrum, where I'm actually like, but you know that I'm the person who likes, like I want like greenfield metas because I think it shows how flexible a player can be. Whereas like I know like from a perspective of like an ace pilot perspective, like, oh, I want to see people who can play these matchups with such thoughtfulness. But I also don't like the idea of that players are practicing in a simulated Japanese environment for their tournament rather than a uniquely North American one. And even when they play Worlds, they'll be playing on a different patch anyway. So they actually have to have that kind of fresh mindset going into Worlds. Like whoever represents us at Worlds also needs to have that flexibility again. Because we've also seen other stuff at Worlds perform well that didn't perform well in the regular meta, right?
Yeah.
Or at least a little bit. But like then again, like it's like a difference between you. But like but that's also because that's not the player. I want to see the players that can cook, but that's also different. Like Nats is a different environment too for that reason. For like, you know, what really does make the best nationals environment, competitive environment. To your point, I agree. Like if someone's able to practice, like the people who are going to win out are the people who've practiced the most and be able to like study the most. Maybe as like a casual, like I want to watch it from the viewer perspective. I want to just see fun decks show up. And it does happen more if you can like create a fresh meta there. But like I can see it both ways too.
Yeah, and I think too, like I would be okay with it being like you have a fresh meta. Like let's say like you have a new meta drops that we've never seen before, and then Nats is like 2 months away.
Oh yeah.
Totally fine. I'm totally down. I think that's great. I think it's when it's like so
1 month away,
close in proximity. I think that's where for me it starts to. It's not enough time, I think, for players to prepare, and it rewards too if you have like a practice group that you like you can play with and grind games. Like I think whereas if you got more time, you can still have like a fresh meta, as we saw with even with like OP11. Like we had like grid spread of decks, people had time to prepare. I think So I think with more time, I would be. I agree. Like I also think that's a component that we want to see, like the deck building and the flexibility. I think just the timing of it is just a little like if I was like I'm not going to Nats, but if I was, I would be pretty upset. And like that was also like a consideration for me last year, was part of the reason I didn't go. was because like I didn't have time to practice on a new meta. Like there's no way. It's like September's a busy month for me.
Yeah.
Like I won't, like I'm not going to spend all this money to fly out there when I can't practice. Whereas if it's a meta that I've practiced all summer, it's a different consideration. So it's interesting, but we'll see what
actually happens. Yeah. Like it'll be. I think like now I want to think back because like this happened last year at Nats, and I was trying to think of what happened afterwards, like what decks ended up showing up. Because I remember like some stuff we didn't expect happened too.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, it'll be exciting to see what happens come the announcements and how much it affects what comes out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, if you have guesses, I just post them on Twitter and tweet at us. Let us know what you think the guesses are.
We are live. This is our first time, I guess, live streaming outside of the regional, so we'd like to find ways to incorporate chat a bit more. I'm just reading through here, and Reina says, GP is very fine. You could hit stage in GP, but I feel like it's dead then. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think stage, it would be dead. I think you just so one of my problems with GP Luffy is that like all the deck is in one card, which is Sanji Pudding, and you have to be able to protect that one card. I almost wish like when GP Luffy was designed, there had been some way of splitting that effect up a little bit more, so that you're just not reliant on one card for your whole game plan. But when you are reliant on one card for your whole game plan, it has to stick. And so I think stage like helps GP Luffy do that. I think if you lose that, I do think that that the deck would be dead in the water, depending on the meta, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, because I guess like if you don't have stage, then a lot of your matchups with cost-based removal just get harder, right? Yes. Which tend to be the current matchups that GP is probably the most beneficial in, right? Yeah. So you'd be hitting a lot of its good matchups by hitting the stage.
Yeah, but we also are moving away from cost-based removal.
Yeah.
And cost-based effects. So like I can see both ways.
Yeah.
Like I can see the deck working in a certain meta without stage. So that definitely is an option. I think like what you might see is like if you ban stage, they run like the new 2-cost Nami searcher in its place and just like get up the consistency with that empty slot. I mean that's an option. Another way, like I kind of like hitting Zoro just a little bit more, just because Zoro I think is actually like a disgustingly good card, just because it's got that perfect stat line and replaces itself and Confined Giant. So I do think if you hit that, you might just tailor the consistency down enough, and then I know that the Nami's going to go in that slot, but the Nami's not strong.
It's not a body that's a 4/6.
Yeah, it's not swinging 7 every turn with a Dawn attached. So I think that might also be a way of like reducing the aggression, slowing the deck down a little bit, and really forcing them into that rush Luffy as the win con, as opposed to just like flooding the board and just killing people, which you actually win a lot of games.
I mean, that's a good point. I don't think, not that it means anything, but I don't think they reprinted 4-cost 6K Zoro in PRB, did they?
I don't think so, but they already have, Japan has an alt art of that, don't they though? A different one?
Yeah, but I mean like, because we've seen them reprint the other starter deck SRs, but I don't think we've seen them reprint 4-cost 6K Zoro alt art. Like,
isn't there an alt art? Where does the alt art from that come from then? There is an alt art of that though. I think when I see Japan, they play that. It's like a crazy looking card. It's like purple, dark purple. They have an alt art of that.
Oh, the Constellation Zoro.
Yeah,
that's from OP12.
Like a SP?
Yeah, it's an SP, Constellation SP.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess I don't know, but then like I said, what they do and don't reprint is not a signal of anything.
That's true, but I have a hard time seeing them banning an SP. There's no way they do that. Yeah, okay. So maybe stage.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
But yeah, I guess we'll have to see what comes out. But no matter what happens, I'm gonna be cautiously excited. I think I will be at Nets, so I'll be excited to see whatever happens.
Yeah.
We'll find out. But yeah, I'll be there for Nats and then Pirate League qualifier. Pirate League. Yeah, Pirate League.
Yeah,
lots of fun stuff coming up.
Yeah, Pirate League. So excited for that.
Yeah.
Pirate League.
How excited are you?
I'm pretty excited. I'm actually really excited to go with Aaron because it was very Aaron was there when I first got in the game, and was such a good guide into what the community should be about, taking care of each other, all this really great stuff, and kind of helping be a champion for what a player that cares about the people around him in the community should be like, and then trying to extend that further to other people around me, kind of with Aaron's Aaron just great role model for that kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And then playing him in the finals of Pirate League qualifier at 401, and then having us be the 2 of the 3 representatives for 401's Pirate League just felt right. Mm-hmm. I was I was saying it was lore accurate. I was I'm happy to be on a 3-on-3 team with Aaron because it's just and at Nats with him, like it's just gonna be like, to me, it's like a perfect kind of like bookend to the end of the season.
Yeah, and it's good. Like I feel like you guys are like good representatives of the store. Like you're both always at locals, always playing, always doing well at 401. So it's like it's kind of right. Like it works. That's kind of what you want from that. Like you want the store reps not to be like some randoms who've never showed up, but like people who've been playing at the store, started playing.
That was our thought too. Like we don't want it to be randoms, and then it's us in finals. Like oh, I guess we went with the same idea. We wanted it to be people from the store that were in the that were there.
Big shout out to Aaron. He's awesome. He was actually in the chat earlier.
Tyranitar. Goat. The goat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, it'll be a good time for sure. We'll have so much content to talk about as well.
Yeah. Well, like, and if it's a fresh meta, like I love it. Like I mean, I like there's like the competitive brain here that I'm like, but like for
the spectators,
for the spectators, it's great. Like I love it. As a spectator, it's so much fun. For everyone, it's good for like almost everyone except like the pro players.
Yeah, so like in the post-ban meta, maybe they hit a million things. I'm like, it's koala. So it's like it's koala. That's the BDIF.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
I would believe if it was Red Black Kobe. I'd believe in like post-ban, it's Red Black Kobe, and then it happens.
Yeah. BY Nami too. Like they start to crop up if you see certain things hit. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know with these things, which is why it's like so exciting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the bands, it's Gecko.
But
it's really.
The problem is like it's just gonna be like it's Green Zoro, and we're all just gonna be like,
sad.
Green Zoro mirrors, let's go.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that's what everyone's gonna practice for probably, and then the meta comes shaped around it as a result.
For sure. And Rayleigh's a cool deck too, and we'll see. We'll definitely see that, and so.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of our topics for today. Y'all have any last thoughts? How'd you enjoy doing a live stream version of this?
I like it. It's fun.
It's kind of like how we're doing it normally, but now you guys are here in the chat. I guess like the more that chat talks to us, the more we'll actually like engage with you guys and talk to you guys back. 'Cause, like honestly, most of the time when we're recording, it's like this already. We're just guys shooting the shit.
Yeah, I think maybe our first scene we should find a way to add the chat in there too, so we can interact back and forth. I was having the thought, okay, do we want to have a section where we just like talk about everything and then we chill with chat after and like have a more discussion-based section? But you all let us know as well, like what you prefer. Ideally, we have a balance of what we want to do, but also in tandem with what you want to see as well.
But yeah, I guess we'll pick it back up again next week too. Like we'll be back in at 7.
Yeah. Ideally, this will be a weekly thing. But thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see